So say that again. So wait, where did we meet?
Clashmouth.
It was the Clash, but the one at Clash, CAF 1001.
Yes, yeah. Very first one.
That one was mental.
It was me, and I think I was in the queue with Scott Heath.
Oh,
that's where I met him. And Conrad. Well, I met Conrad before, but the three of us, we were there.
What? Conrad. MC or
No.
Oh.
Just Conrad Kozoi. If I've said it wrong, apologies.
Conrad Kozoi.
Yeah, he's a head.
Yeah. Because I think I've probably met him as well.
You probably have.
Yeah. That first Clashmouth was amazing.
It was nuts.
It was so amazing. I never dreamed. I mean, I thought it would have worked out all right, but I didn't think it would be as crazy as.
It was bonkers.
Yeah, but
to me, the maddest thing was the fact that when the gates opened, everybody stormed the reinforced.
Yeah, the AKO and reinforced. I still call it.
Do you know what?
I still call it AKO, but I know it's AKO, innit?
No, it's AKO.
I thought it was AKO. No, wait.
It's AKO.
Oh shit! Oh, it is AKO.
Because remember, they've got on reinforced. They've got Project AKO, which is the silver one.
Oh right.
Fire and ice and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, I've heard.
Sorry, Stretch. Sorry, because you know what? I did a video. Fuck's sake. Right.
I've heard some people saying AKO.
Yeah,
I've heard an MC saying it, and I had to say to him,
"No, it's AKO." I mean, I get Chris introspective input. In perspective, I get all the different remixes. But then I said I did a Clashmouth video for all the people that I said in at Clashmouth, and I said AKO beats on the thing, and then David, sorry, would have been sorry, David, Stretch, sorry. He would have probably been sitting there going, fucking cunt, like, can't get the name of my fucking label right. Keeps calling me Dave when I want to be called David.
AKO, mate.
And it's AKO. All right, so AKO beats.
AKO beats.
Stretch. I apologise, mate. I'm sorry, mate.
If you don't know, get to know.
Yeah, I'm just. Do you know what? Do you know what I say? Black Eye, Roderick, for about 3 years, I was calling him Roger.
Right. Yeah, but you know what?
And he didn't. I don't know if he didn't correct me or just kept mishearing me. But it took him ages to like fucking correct me. Yeah.
Look, let me tell you. I've got a neighbour. Right, he lives, I don't know, maybe about 10 or 15 doors down.
Yeah.
He keeps calling me Martin. I've not corrected him.
You just let him figure
it. Yeah. Because what are you gonna do? The first time they do it, you're like, okay, and you kind of allow them because I don't know, maybe he forgot or maybe he thinks you're somebody else.
Yeah.
But then it happens again and again, and then I don't know, you just enter this weird space where you can't correct them.
Yeah.
Because then it becomes embarrassing because it's like. He's going to be like, so hold on a minute.
Yeah.
You heard me calling you that like 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And now you're telling me that your name's not... My son cracks up.
It's like Only Fools and Horses where he kept calling Rodney Dave, innit? Trigger. You're right there, Dave. It's like, and you see Rodney go to correct him and just go, oh, fuck it. You know what I mean? You can see him just like, I think that's probably what Black Eye did.
Calls me Martin. I guess I'm Martin to him, innit? What am I going to do?
It's like so how did you because this is the thing, the reason why I wanted to do one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast, the reason why I asked you on here was because a bit like Lady Jules, you were someone that wasn't known to me personally, and I just kept seeing their energy out in the world, and I'm just sort of like, who is this guy?
And the thing is, that energy I'm oblivious to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but you're putting out like really positive energy. It's just like every message you posted was always very positive. I never see you sort of go online and whine and moan like me. You know what I mean? Or go and rant or anything, or have a problem with anything.
I rant.
Yeah.
But I choose my times to rant.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't beef or war with people on Facebook because, like, if I don't know you, I'm not giving you that energy. I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah.
You might be a troll. Yeah. That might be what you get up and live and die for. To wake up and just get under somebody's skin. And so no, you're you're not going to have that kind of effect on me.
That's what people often think that I'm doing. That I'm just a professional troll. Really.
No, well,
do you know what I mean? It's like I had someone.
No, but your rants are classic. They're epic.
Yeah, I mean,
I've watched some of them, and I'm like, did this guy just say that?
Yeah.
But the thing is, you're just saying what.
I'll just try and speak from the heart. I mean, I probably do let my I wear my heart too much on my sleeve sometimes, but
there's nothing wrong.
You know,
with that.
Yeah, I don't really think there's too much of a problem there. But like, it's just like, I don't know. It's just with yourself. I always felt like, you know, this is a guy that just loves music. He lives and dies for it, and I related to that. You know,
I do.
Like I said, a lot of the way, like Lady Jules, and actually, I would hope every guest on here, you know, they love this music and they'll die for it. You know what I mean? And you know, but you don't just love, you know, drum and bass. You've got your, you know, your soul, your rare groove. You've got, you know what I mean?
Pop.
Yeah.
There's bits of cheese in my collection.
It's like what? What's your all right, so what's your most cheesy tune? Come on.
Do you know what? Stuff like, I'd say the Doobie Brothers.
Doobie Brothers are bad though.
I know, but that's
Stills and Nash, man. Shit.
Yeah, I know, but that's, to me, it's not cheese in the worst sense.
Yeah.
It's not cheap, but if I like something, I like something.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
It could be pop, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, some people will say Chaz and Dave are commercial, but if you think about what they did as session musicians,
they were incredible session musicians. That's
some
the
of the
thing.
stuff that they, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everybody does that. Everybody starts off in the underground.
Yeah.
And then you get noticed, and then you end up in the overground.
Doing what you're doing.
Yeah,
I've got to shout out Bob Mack, Robert Machoki, who was always a big Chaz and Dave fan. We always used to talk about it. And like, you know, growing up, you'd hear the tune, you know, Snooker Loopy, yeah. Snooker Loopy, nuts are we.
We grew up with all that kind of stuff.
Do you know what? That's how, when I watch snooker, I still, you know, yellow, green, bamboo, pink and black, I still sing the Chaz and Dave song to remember what order the colours
You can't say you don't remember Rabbit and stuff like that. It's
like, there's people under the age of like, I don't know.
Certain people there, it's just
under the age of 35 are like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, yeah, Chaz and Dave, look at my, bless them, they were amazing. Yeah. So, were you? Was it a parent or parents or what was
lots
it?
of things, right? Okay, so I grew up in Kensal Rise.
Right.
My dad bought a house, 3 floors. So to begin with, a lot of my uncles and stuff, my aunties, they all lived in the same house.
Right.
Rooms
Okay.
and that.
Yeah.
And then they just kept on working until eventually they bought their own places.
Got you.
So there was just loads of influences. I mean, my dad listened to a lot of jazz. My dad used to listen to a lot of opera, classical stuff, Nancy Wilson, that kind of stuff, Nat King Cole, Sarah Vaughan, all that kind of stuff. But then I had like my auntie, one of my aunties, and she's, I think, my dad's younger sister. She, I guess, when I was maybe about 5 or 6, she must have been about maybe 15 or 16.
Got ya.
She'd come home every Friday with her wages or whatever and just buy tunes. That's where I heard the James Brown, the Bob Marley and different bits. And
Got ya.
And all of my uncles had decent record collections.
Yeah.
And as you know, when we were younger, loads of family parties.
So how many uncles and aunties do you have?
My dad came from a family of 12, so there was 6
I knew
brothers.
you were going to say a crazy number. I just knew it. I knew it.
There was 18. There was 18, but 6 of them passed away.
Oh, god damn.
So then there was 12.
Wow.
So there's 5 boys, 5 girls, and all of them have got a minimum of 3 children.
So where are your grandparents from then?
My grandparents, my grandparents, they're all from Guyana. That's where my family comes
right.
Originally.
Got ya.
So yeah, my mum is from Guyana, my dad's from Guyana,
Yeah.
my grandparents are from Guyana, and they come over.
Yeah. And that's Guyana, not Ghana.
It's
a difference.
yeah, that's the one, because people
People
say Guyana and they're like, what, Ghana?
Nah, Guyana is there's a place.
Both beautiful places, but they're just two different places.
Yeah, right.
One's South America, one's Africa.
Yeah, of course. And so Kensal Rise, all these aunties, uncles, all playing different types of music.
Yep. Family parties, hearing loads of music.
Yeah.
Older cousins.
Yeah.
Because that's how you learn about
music.
Your family first and foremost. Your family, cousins, older brothers.
Yeah.
Uncles, aunties.
Yeah.
And when we used to go, for instance, we would go and stay over at one of my uncle's houses, like in part of the 6 weeks holiday.
Yeah.
To stay over there.
Yeah.
And my uncle would just be like, you lot can play my tunes, just treat them treat them nicely.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean, don't mess them up.
Yeah, don't mash up the records,
Yeah.
innit?
So you look through, but I was like, I couldn't afford to buy these records because half of them I didn't even know. So what I used to do was just memorize what the cover was.
Right, okay.
Obviously, the sound that you hear and what if you like it, if you were like a person like me, that will stay in your head, and you just memorize the cover. So sometimes I've seen a record 20, 30 years down the line.
Yeah.
I've finally seen a cover, and I'm like,
Oh, shit,
that's
I
the
gotta get
one.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you always go digging? You still dig down?
Yeah. Because see, this is the other thing. I'm going to offer this up for free. I don't do football. Yeah, so that brain power that could have been spent on football for me, music.
You put it on music, yeah.
So
I do. I still up the villa. Up the villa.
Lots of people do. Both my brothers do, but I'm like, nah.
Who they support?
They were both Liverpool to begin with.
Yeah.
Now the older one's Chelsea. My younger brother's Liverpool still.
Right. Okay. Why do you have one go from fucking Liverpool to Chelsea?
Do you know what?
What's wrong with him?
That's another story.
Oh, fucking hell. Well, no, I want to know because the thing is, a lot of kids of our generation
You know what?
probably.
I'd have to ask him because all I know is they were Liverpool, and then one day my older brother wasn't.
But they were probably Liverpool in the same way. Like a lot of like black kids I know, our generation were Liverpool because of John Barnes.
Do you know what? I was so not into it. I know who John Barnes is, but I don't even know why I don't even know why it was Liverpool.
Yeah,
I just know I grew up and they're like, oh, Liverpool.
Yeah. Because for me, growing up, like John Barnes was an absolute legend, but when I got to about 11, 12, I just sort of fell in love with the whole Villa thing, and got to see him, and Dane Atkinson and Tony Daly, and and then later on you had Ugo Effiog's and all these different players. I know you don't know who the fuck I'm talking about, but my son's middle name is Agbonlahor, who was a player for Villa.
Okay.
So his name's Jacob James Agbonlahor Anderson Walton. That's his full fucking name. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
We thought it was like trying to go on like Brazilians, giving her about 16 different names. So it was the typical sort of, Afro-Caribbean. Well, I say typical, but it was an Afro-Caribbean upbringing that some of us and most of us would recognise. Yeah. In terms of your relationship to music. Of
course. I mean, even like my granny, she used to live above us.
Yeah.
And she wasn't playing. She had a decent set, separates. Do you know what I mean? One of my uncles, which is obviously one of her sons.
Yeah.
Built up the set for her.
Yeah.
Technics turntable.
Must
have been a Technics 1500 or
going
back.
The early ones.
This is before the 1200s
12
and that.
10s, yeah.
1210s and that. And then it's got Iowa, Equalizer and whatnot.
Okay.
And she'd be thumping out Jim Reeves on a Sunday,
my mum loved Jim
proper,
Reeves.
Yeah.
What is it about Jim Reeves and the
Lena Martell and
yeah. Did you have Kenny Rogers as well?
All of that. So you hear all this stuff.
Yeah.
You hear all this stuff.
But why? Why certain Jim Reeves was in my mum and dad's collection as well? What the fuck is it about Jim Reeves?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to work out. I'm gonna have to do a bit of research into this guy.
Find out what it was. Ace Cannon, all kinds of people.
Oh, my dad Ace Cannon as well. Sorry, I know I'm shouting, but it's really exciting. It's so mad. Ace Cannon was this guy who looked like a darts player, didn't he?
This is what, I know you know. I know.
Yeah.
Saying that. Yeah.
He looked like a darts player, like a big fat sort of white dude.
Guy playing the saxophone.
Ace
Cannon.
He was like an instrumentalist, do you know what I mean? Like a true instrumentalist. And it's just crazy.
So just grew up hearing a load of that kind of stuff, and then you get to a certain age where you get your little pocket money and whatnot. And then obviously, because remember when we were growing up, Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
That's where you heard certain things.
Yeah.
If it wasn't being played in your house, you'd hear it on the TV.
Yeah.
So then you used to get my little pocket money, because I remember on Kilburn High Road, above the W.H. Smiths, they used to have records.
Oh, okay.
So go up there and go up the stairs, they had the records.
Yeah.
And then you had Our Price Records, Kilburn High Road as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you're young, you get your little pocket money, started buying records, and
that's where the love affair started.
Yeah. And then obviously, remember, you got Notting Hill Carnival, because that's where a lot of tunes got broken. Or that's where, I think I heard Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, The Message. The very first time I heard it was at Carnival. One Carnival, it must have been 1985 or something.
Yeah.
Heard it blasting out of the speaker.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Hearing that, and I was thinking to myself, what is this song? Do you know what I mean? And it just stayed in there. And then obviously a couple of weeks afterwards, about a month or so afterwards, people started playing it because people realised what it was. People got it. And, do you know what I mean? But yeah, so that's how it's always been.
Right. And then so that's now sort of you're introduced to all that music. So where did where did jungle come in for you?
Right, the jungle came in because after a while, realizing that I really, really liked music and especially vinyl.
Yeah.
I didn't like tapes.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, when that tape busts,
Yeah,
that's your business. You're done.
Yeah, you're done.
Yes,
Well,
but I'm like, with the vinyl, you can. Of course, you could fix it.
Yeah, you fix the
But
tapes,
I was
yeah.
like, with the vinyl, you can tape that as many times as you like.
Yeah.
If the tape busts, just record it again.
Yeah,
if you've got the vinyl, you're laughing.
You always got something, yeah.
Right, so realising that I like vinyl, I thought to myself, you know what? With the amount of tunes that are coming out, you got to be on the front line to get these tunes, because if you're not on the front line, you're not going to get everything. And as we know, it doesn't matter how much of a digger you are. There's so much music, you're going to miss certain things. So I got a job in Tower Records.
Oh wow!
Piccadilly
Circus.
Back in the day, in the golden era.
I applied a job there, bastard. You got a job there?
Yeah. So, right, now remember, the difference is, you got HMV, HMV and Virgin.
Yeah.
They had radio DJs within the store that were told to play stuff.
Yeah.
That's the original playlist business. In Tower, they were like, nah. They were like, if you know something, as long as it's not got any swearing or profanity or whatever, if you're into something, play it. So that set us apart from HMV and Virgin, because we were allowed to play whatever we wanted as long as there wasn't profanity. So I met a load of people in there that specialised in all types of music, rockabilly, jazz, all kinds of stuff, soundtracks even. So you're doing your till shift and you just play music, and that way you actually sell more records that way, because people come in and people are like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Rather than playing, I don't know, stuff that they're going to hear on the radio when they go home anyway, or they're going to see it on Top of the Pops or whatever. So yeah. And then obviously, when you first start off, you're just like on the tills or whatever. Work my way up to being a buyer. When you start being a buyer, then obviously you get to meet the reps.
Yeah,
that
distributors.
Come in. So they come in.
Right.
And this was, do you know what? So SRD, let's.
Okay. Oh, here you go. Shout out Rico. Hope you're doing well, mate. You alright?
So the SRD van used to come, and obviously you do an order with them every Friday or whatever. And obviously, this is. I used to be into hip hop, R&B and whatnot. That's where I started, just like anybody else.
Yeah.
But then when this thing called hardcore came in, I started going to those raves and that, and then SRD, some stuff started coming out through SRD. So they've come now, and remember, a lot of it wasn't finished product, because it's just been pressed up. Do you know what I mean? It's just in a white sleeve and whatnot. So we started off taking bits on consignment. Yeah. And the management used to keep moaning and being funny, because obviously it was different to what they knew, because they knew stuff that comes from the company, barcoded up, proper sealed up and all the rest of it. So I had to try and convince them and say to them, look, this is the next big thing, I'm telling you. And they were sort of like laughing, they were like going, oh, this is Pinky and Perky music. Because remember, the vocals used to be sped up.
Yeah.
So they were like, this is not going to last. And they were laughing and everything. And I said, look, just give me a little budget. Yeah. And let me do what I need to do. So got a few bits in, and then obviously, so now I'm plugging it. So on a Saturday now, when the youngsters come in, obviously you meet certain people and you're talking to them, and then they'll be like, oh, you realise that they're into hardcore and that as well. And you say, look, there's a little section over there, some bits and pieces. We also had a turntable where we could play stuff. Yeah. Because in HMV and Virgin, you couldn't get to do that. Yeah. The DJ's tucked away and he's playing what he's playing. So we're doing that. So then, obviously, it got bigger and bigger. Section got bigger and bigger and bigger. So now, obviously, I'm spending money with the rep from SRD because I'm taking stuff in.
Do you remember who the rep was?
We had a guy called Ian.
Okay.
I can't remember his
surname. Okay.
But then, it was a bit of a job, because what I was having to do is, a lot of it was unfinished. It was just sort of unfinished. So we had to get it in, bag it up. We got a barcode machine. We had to make barcodes for it, and I was even putting stickers on it, writing what the track was and just sort of describing it. We started doing that first. HMV and Virgin used to come to, like, they send spies out, because we used to do it to them as well. But they used to send spies out and come and see what you're doing, and then they started doing it. But we started doing that writing down brief descriptions of what the track was and all the rest of it. So when people are looking through, if you're in the know, then you would know.
So you had a major part to play in regards to...
Kind of, yeah.
Sort of records being not just sort of going from this small independence, but like getting into those sort of like more...
Then, all of a sudden, through SRD...
Yeah.
They started to do the reinforced stuff.
Right, okay.
They started to do the moving shadow stuff.
Yeah.
They started to do the suburban bass stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, you know what? Because obviously I'm doing orders with them every week. So then they're like, yeah, look, you go in the van with them, come out of the shop, go into the van, sit in there, chat, have a chat and whatever. Yeah. These are the days people are smoking and whatnot. So a little spliff.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, look, he goes, yeah, just take what you want from there.
Yeah.
So I'm taking like 10, 12 records a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and as far as they're concerned, they've got promos to give away to people.
Yeah.
I've done a big order with them. Mm-hmm. So that's...
So you used to get you a little like backhander.
And
do you know what I mean?
And it was all good. So that's how I managed to amass the collection of reinforced that I've got. Same with suburban bass and same with moving shadow. But the problem was a lot of the early Dillinger stuff and some of the early Tom and Jerry stuff was through vinyl distribution.
Vinyl distribution, Reading,
Tower, Tower had beef with them. So Tower was like, they wouldn't let us buy anything. Do you know what? Do you know how painful it is?
What? Do you know
financial
why?
beef. Financial beef. Maybe they haven't paid Tower something, or maybe Tower hasn't paid something.
Right.
You never know what it is. Okay. All you know is the managers will be like, listen, if anyone from vinyl distribution rings up, don't buy nothing off them. That's all. That's all you would hear.
Right. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? They're not telling you why or whatever. So sometimes you know the rep really well. Now remember, his job is to try and offload stuff onto you. He'll come, and we're good friends because we're into the music and all the rest of it. And he's trying to offload stuff into me, and I'm having to say, listen, I can't. They've said to me, I can't do anything with you. And then sometimes it would go on for months and months and months, and then eventually somebody might pay the bill, or they would be like, okay. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I missed a lot of the early Tom and Jerry stuff and a lot of the early Dillinger stuff.
Right.
But then I was going to Camden because, you know, Horace, there's a guy called Horace in Camden. No. He had Camden Records. He actually made a label, actually.
Oh, okay.
Came out of that.
Yeah.
That's where I used to get the Tom and Jerry stuff and the Dillinger stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? On a Saturday, I'd skip work and go to Camden and get the bits that I couldn't get.
Through Tower,
But yeah, that's... That was really the golden era.
Yeah.
That was the golden era.
Yeah.
And like I built my collection up, and that's where I really made my collection what it is.
So how many records you got now, you think?
Do you know what? I don't even know, but it's an obscene amount.
Oh, what, thousands? You think?
Oh, easy.
Yeah,
it's obscene. Because the other thing they used to do, the CD rep you'd have a box of CDs. Each box holds maybe 25 CDs. Each CD is worth $7.99.
Right.
The company will sell it to Tower for $7.99. They'd mark it up to $15.99.
Yeah.
And so they'll sell it. Yeah. So sometimes if you do an order with, I don't know, Sony, BMG, whoever it was or whatever, they'll give you a box of CDs for yourself. They'll be like, yeah, that's you. And it might be Britney Spears or anything like that.
Right.
They'll give that to you. And what Tower, because obviously they knew they could get rid of it because it was Britney Spears or whoever was the in-person Oasis, whatever. Yeah. You've now got 25 times $7.99 or whatever worth of stuff. So you give it to Tower, they'll say, yeah, go and take that amount of records. So you're getting free records as it is. You're also getting CDs that you can swap goods to the value of.
Got ya.
You know what I mean? Bonkers.
So you just got bare records then. You just got bare wax.
You know what? It was crazy. But yeah, it was good times.
And then so did you do any pirate radio or?
Yes, I did a little bit of pirate radio station, not necessarily hardcore or jungle or anything like that, but I was doing my cousin, DJ Maddox. Shout out to DJ Maddox. Got me on Shine FM.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So I was doing this is garage.
Right.
Because, I mean, I'm into it all.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what I picked up from the things you post. It was always, because it's always interesting. You always post up Patrice Russian, or you post certain tracks and certain artists.
Yeah, I'm into it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were doing that, and then for a while, playing on Shine FM used to allow you to be able to play at the Gas Club.
Right.
But then DTI and everything, they put the kibosh on everything, saying that you can't play if you're because Shine's a pirate station. They're saying you can't play at the Gas Club because Gas Club is being funded or in collusion with a pirate radio station. Remember, Gas Club is a normal proper establishment.
Yeah, I remember Gas Club. Yeah,
that's not.
Yeah.
So then they started saying no.
That was in Leicester Square, right?
Yeah.
Just off Leicester Square. Yeah.
Put the kibosh and everything. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, that was very garage heavy. Gas Club, wasn't it? It was.
Yes. Yeah. So I did a little bit there. Then met somebody. I was playing at a party, and then I met somebody. DJ Technola. Shout out to DJ Technola actually. She was on Live FM and she's like, oh, do you want to play on Live FM? And then she goes, oh, look, send a demo of you mixing and that, which I did. And then they said, all right, cool. And then I went over there, and 5 years later, I'm still there. Do you know what I mean? So then, and then just after Live FM, I was on West Side Radio. I don't even want to talk about it.
Why?
No, because they kicked me off that station.
Why? What'd you do?
Nothing. That's the thing, nothing. I didn't do anything. I didn't. I swear.
What would they say? What would they say?
You know what?
They'd have to
they'd have to say the same thing. But the owner's, I don't know. He's strange. So, but anyone will tell you. Anybody that was on that station with me or whatever, you can ask them. They'll say he didn't do anything. So then, but it was like cool. So I went from there to Itch FM.
Right.
Itch FM, better station as far as I'm concerned in terms of how they treat the people that play on for them and that. But I lived to see the better day where, after kicking me off Westside for no reason at all, about 3-4 years later, the manager was like, he spoke through somebody else and get Paydro to come, like he can cover and play. I was like, no. I said, no. I said, because you kicked me off for no reason. You think I'm going to come back and play? No, not at all.
Exactly.
Not at all. So yeah, that was that. So at the minute, I'm still doing Live FM. Yeah. Every second and last Sunday of the month. That's just jungle. That could be anything. Upfront, classic jungle, drum and bass, whatever. I do the Breaks and Soul show on every Tuesday on Itch FM. Yeah, that's just where I pitched that show to, because I started off on Itch FM doing hip hop back in the day. Yeah, there's about 5 or 6 of us, so we're in rotation. Yeah, and I just used to be at the end of the month just playing classic golden era hip hop and new hip hop that is sounding like it was made in the golden era.
Back in the golden era. Yeah. So that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm still doing that to this day.
So you're still doing Itch and Life now.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, and then whilst I was doing that, then I pitched an idea to the management at Itch, saying, look, I want to do a show where I want to just play some breaks and that. Because I actually started that when I was on West Side. I was playing doing a hip hop show, but then I used to do a little segment where I started playing the breaks where these breaks came from that were used in the hip hop songs. So I just took that idea and then said to the management at Itch FM, look, I want to do a show where that's what I'm doing, just playing breaks and whatnot. So they were like, all right, cool. So I started doing that. But that show is now, it's evolved because now you could hear anything on there. It started off just breaks. I was playing funk, I was playing soul, and it was all tied into hip hop. But then at the same instance, a lot of people that we know, a lot of musicians, they make hip hop. They make jungle, they make all sorts of stuff. So now I've incorporated it all. So now it's just a case of, I'll just usually tell people on the day, I'll be like, look, this is what I'm going to be playing tonight. And then sometimes I go off on a tangent and I'll be playing pure electronica and whatnot. I might do that for 3 shows in a row. Right. And then all of a sudden I'll say, no, I'm back on the breaks.
Got ya.
And that, funny enough, is the show that the show of mine on Itch FM that gets talked about the most. Right, yeah. To the management. They're like, you know what, that show's bad. Yeah. Because you can just hear anything. Yeah. And for the youngsters, it's an education for them because we know where this stuff all came from.
100%.
Stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't. Or they only know the sampled version or today's version.
Yeah, got ya. Where someone's rehashed it or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
So you were doing, so going back again, you know, so you had the thing where you were on the station, you were playing on gas, you're playing at Gas Club, that
Yeah,
kind of had a kibosh it. So what, we're in the early 90s now then, are we?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah. It's got, I would say that's like 93, 94,
right.
or whatever, because obviously the garage came slightly after
Yeah,
the jungle.
a little bit later, yeah.
Because when it started getting a bit funny in the jungle, then just everybody sort of shifted
A
over.
lot of people did shift over,
Yeah, just shift over.
So when you say funny in the jungle, what was that for you?
Just, do you know what? Just madness.
Yeah.
Just madness. Like, and I want to say this and make it clear. It's one of them ones where I've said to people, you can go to a jungle rave back in the day, certain jungle raves.
Yeah.
Right? Because there was only certain ones where it would be like this.
Yeah.
The vibes was 3,000% on point.
Yeah.
Proper music,
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
Like the same instance, there was also an element where it could go left.
Yeah, really quickly.
Yeah, any minute.
Yeah.
Any minute.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
And it didn't make it a bad rave.
No.
It was just like, do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
there was certain dances where, I remember there was certain dances probably like 95, 96, you know, where, you know, I was a Laserdrome kid, so I used to go in a sense of Laserdrome, but occasionally we'd go like AWOL or, you know, Thunder and Joy or one of them others, and Thunder and Joy was a bit tasty. Like, you know what I mean, it was a bit naughty. Like, there was, you know, there's clear crack being smoked in there. And, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, let's just have it right. Do you know what I mean? Like,
this is what I'm saying. It's like, and some people just don't.
Not to pick on Thunder and Joy, that was your clientele, not the promoters.
Yeah, because it's not the club's fault. It's not the venue. It's not the venue's fault.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, any venue or any music that starts off in the underground, at first it's only the people in the know.
Yeah.
But just like anything else, it gets popular.
Yes.
Word of mouth goes about. Yeah. Then other people start coming in. And then all of a sudden, it's like, you've just got this thing where it's so popular, it's just the way of the world that, of course, there's going to be an element. There's going to be different elements in there. The people that are there from the beginning, the people that were naysayers, but then all of a sudden, they've come to realise and they're there. Then you get some people that are like, well, now that it's really busy in there, I'll go down there, I can work.
Right, got you.
Do my thing.
Yeah.
In there. And then, just like everything else, just like with Carnival, you then get the certain people that are like, well, I've got beef with such and such, they're going to be there because that's the place where everyone is.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to go and deal with.
And go and deal with the thing,
yeah. It's just the way of the world, and it's got nothing to do with the venue, it's got nothing to do with the music. This is just people.
But then the problem was, back then, like, certain parts of the media...
Yeah, well, they are going to say that.
They made it about that. I mean, I remember Mixed Mag being quite... I mean, I love Mixed Mag, but, you know, they were pretty shitty to junglists back in the day, weren't they? They were like... I remember they had that picture of, like, what a junglist would look like. And it was like an image of this sort of like, you know, I mean, it may as well fucking put a Robinson's gollywog, you know what I mean? Like, and it was problematic. And look, like, you know, I've spoken to members of the Mixed Mag team. You know, there's a good friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. Yeah,
because they don't know, they don't know, and then I don't know, someone gets a bright idea to be like, yeah, let's say that it's that.
Yeah.
You don't know. It wasn't really like that. Or you should have checked with people that really did know.
Yes.
And let them tell you.
Yes.
Even if it was gory or whatever, or even if it wasn't, let them tell you. Don't try to do it yourself from what you've heard from there and from, because misinformation.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Misinformation. Messes up the team.
It's like. So was there a particular dance that you would go, like, because I was always going to Laserdrome every week, in a sense, was it?
We went to a few. Labyrinth, obviously.
Yeah, right, okay.
Everyone went Labyrinth.
Yeah, I went once or twice, yeah. But that was more like ravey, like it was more hardcore.
Yeah, that was in the beginning, and then Sunday Roast, obviously.
Yeah.
Then Laserdrome as well.
Yeah.
Also Wax in Stratford.
I never went to Wax Club.
Yeah, that was a naughty little club.
Was it? Yeah, because Stratford would have back then. People would go to Stratford. Oh, it's lovely. It's a shopping mall and all that. But back then, it was
the door got shut up a couple of times.
Right.
I mean, it was
because there was that incident at Jungle Fever as well, wasn't there? With a guy.
Right. All the Jungle Fevers. Because remember, the whole thing about Jungle Fever was the flyer would come out, and the flyer was, I think there was a mummy there was a wolf.
Yes.
There was a pharaoh.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I'm saying. And they were masks.
Yeah,
the flyer was a mask.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I remember we were going, and we went to all of them religiously.
Yeah.
We went to one, I think it was Linford Studios.
Yeah.
Gunshot was going outside before people even got in. Then people rushed the door. Do you know what? It was nuts. So then we were like, you know what? Let's maybe not.
Yeah.
And that was the last one that we went to.
Yeah.
Because we were like, it's nuts now.
Yeah.
But before that, there was at least 3-4 of them that were just nuts, bonkers. The element was always there, and you know what I mean. And because you can see in there who's who, and you got your little bad boys in there.
Yeah.
It's always been like that. But then I think Linford Studio was the one where it was like, no, it's getting out of control.
Yeah.
It's getting out of control, and it's like at the end of the day, you want to dance, or you want to die.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Because I mean, it was more about just sort of street beef being dragged into these spaces rather than.
It's not the music, and it's not the venue.
It wasn't
the music wasn't making people do that.
No.
And the venue definitely wasn't making people do that.
No.
Just people.
Yeah, just yeah. Because I always remember. Sorry, it's slightly off track, but I remember Soul Solid Crew when they came about, and then it was almost like countdown to their demise, because obviously where they came from, and I don't know all the history of Soul Solid, because it was Battersea Way, I think they were from, innit?
Yeah, South London.
Southwest more really, but like they were, when they got famous, it was like they had beef with people from the past, and then once they got famous,
there's a few documentaries like on YouTube that kind of explains part of it. I mean, you'll never really you never really get down to the full. Unless I get
Mega Man or Lisa Mafia,
right,
come on, I'd love that. Oh, that'd be amazing.
But it's like it's just like anything else. It's like when things get really, really popular.
Yeah.
It just goes that way.
Yeah, it sort of spreads out.
Yeah, it just goes that way.
It sort of spreads out.
And then it's like, which is not what we're talking about here, but it's like this Travis Scott thing with the concert. Do you see what I'm saying? That's just mainly and purely because he's gotten so popular that people start rushing the doors. It gets silly, and obviously the venue had no idea that that's what people were going to do.
Yeah,
they've only got a certain amount of security, and they thought that was enough.
Yeah,
clearly it wasn't.
The way the media reported that Travis Scott thing was awful, because they literally made out like it was Travis Scott's fault that there was a crash. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like, well, how can it be his fault? Like, you know, you don't blame the players at Hillsborough. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you can't.
Did you see the Woodstock? Or was it Woodstock 99?
Oh, God. Yeah. I watched that. And I was just like, how could they have, and it was just like the brothers at the top were just sort of so like, you know, they were so laissez-faire about the whole thing, really, and they just didn't seem to like really connect with the fact that these people are out there. There's no water, there's no sanitation, there was nothing, there's no real security.
Nuts.
You know, like.
What did they think was going to happen?
Well, I think what it was, I personally think they were just a bit naive and a bit nostalgic, and I think they felt like, well, people will get into the spirit of Woodstock, man, and like, you know what I mean?
But this time it's like, it's not the 60s.
No, people are different now. These are different kind of animal now. Like, you got all these frat boys, you know what I mean, running around.
It's different.
And then, like, you know, just, I mean, I don't know, I don't think there were, I'm sure crimes were committed. But then, to be fair, you know, Woodstock, you know, people would say that, you know, when the Hells Angels turned up to Woodstock, like,
there must have been trouble at the original Woodstock.
Yeah,
I know everyone says it was all peaceful.
No. There was blatantly trouble. Hells Angels come like chase someone to a tree and murder them and stuff. It was just like some crazy shit, man.
It's got to be.
You know what I mean?
That happened.
But it's just like always part and parcel of like the music. You know, always sort of attract. Once you've got something that attracts so many people, you get so many people into an area, it's gonna be problematic. You know what I mean? You know, it's like. How do you can't legislate for that. And I mean, I've been very guilty of attacking, you know, brands, you know, I mean, I mentioned it on a previous cast, you know, about, you know, the types of people they attract. And it's not always the brand's fault. It's just sometimes a symptom of where they are, or a symptom of the time, or something like that.
Yeah,
and,
so it's always a combination.
Yeah,
a combination.
Yeah, it can be. But it's like, so, you know, there was that era, that period. You're on Life FM, you're on Itch FM, you're doing all these things, and but have you had much sort of opportunity to play at club nights and such like?
Not of late.
Right. Okay.
Not of late. But it's just the way how it's going now. It's like there's so many DJs out now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's so many DJs out, and then you've got so many up and coming youngsters that are like they're willing to do whatever. So if you're trying to wrangle about this payment or that payment, there's loads of people that'll be like, well, they'll just do it for the what's the word? Exposure.
Yeah.
There's all that. So
yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, I'm happy doing what I'm doing. It's like if certain things have come up of late where people have said like yourself. Yeah. A couple other people have said yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm not running anybody down. If you say you're going to do that, then okay. Do you know what I mean? If it doesn't happen, it's fine. It's also fine. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm not as young as I was before, so it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like when you're really, really young, it's like, oh, you're chasing it. But now it's like, it's not that the desire isn't there to sort of like push necessarily. No, not like that.
Yeah. But like I said, nevertheless, I still felt like there was like an energy to who you are and your being, because you just love the music so much. And I've checked out your show a few times and everything else, and it's always been really positive, and you've always like playing the greatest tunes. You're playing.
Yeah, I don't deal in negativity.
Nah,
I don't.
I'm trying to do that more lately. I'm trying not to.
It's like Major Ranks. Shout out to Major Ranks.
Always. Jason, come on, man. Asked him on Saturday.
To me, when was it? I think at the last AKO, the Halloween thing.
Yeah.
He come up to me and he goes, Paydro, he goes, there's nothing bad about you.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nah.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
He's
cool.
great. I love Major Ranks.
Of course. Yeah.
I love him because he's just so... again, just pure positivity. He's like a beam of light, you know what I mean, when he's coming. I'm sure that we all got our bad days, you know what I mean? We all have our bad days and get whatever, but no one's perfect. But just the general vibe I always got from him is I've always had really positive conversations with him, and he's had, I'm sure he's had his, like everyone else, he's had his struggles and his things, but it's always about, it's music first with him. And I think that's one of the things that I want to, with the people that come on here, it's that's the thing, it's the music first. You know what I mean?
It's got to be music first.
Yeah, because you weren't at Rupture at the weekend, because we just had Rupture birthday. Shout to Double O and Mantra. He didn't go. I went. But thank you, Double O, by the way, and Indy. Sorry.
Because I knew it was going to be bad, but just sometimes.
Yeah. Rumbleton was outstanding.
The planets don't align.
No, it didn't really work for you.
Yeah, it didn't work.
But I got to shout out Rumbleton. He played a fucking fantastic set. He was outstanding, really, really good. And then Matt was busting the top. Sorry, I know you missed Matt, didn't you? With the Tom and Jerry's.
You know what? It hurts my head. Actually, it's painful to talk about.
That's how important it is. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Right. So you're not into football. Is there anything else? Is there any?
Just music.
Just music.
Just music and.
So you like just
like cooking. Yeah, cooking.
Oh, you like cooking?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
So what? Were you ever a chef or?
No.
No.
Just I'm not a professional chef, but I can cook.
So what do you like to cook? Because I was a chef for 7 years.
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Leg of lamb. I do a mean leg of lamb. Oh, proper.
I fucking love it.
I do the stuff that, like oxtail and all that rice and peas.
Yeah, some hard food.
I make some saltfish fritters. They're legendary.
Oh yeah, I heard about that, and I was like, I was waiting for you to like.
Do you know what? I'm gonna. No, next time I come.
I was thinking, all right. It's gonna bring something.
Yeah, I've even done that. I was done a joint show with somebody at Life FM, and they were like, "Yeah, could you bring some fritters?" And I actually did.
Oh, wicked.
I actually did. So yeah, I like cooking.
I should have been more specific. Do you know what I mean? Should have come out of it. But it would be. I think it would be fun to do sort of like a jungle cooking show. Do you know what I mean?
It's not been done yet. You know what I mean?
Shit, we just gave away the idea, didn't we?
Sorry. Well, listen, we said it first.
Yeah, we said it first. All right.
Exactly.
But but it's. I mean, most of the people, that I know from the jungle community, of course, have other interests. You know what I mean? They like, you know, they cook or they paint or they, you know, whatever. So you know, different in that regard. But I mean, would you say you were someone that sort of kept up with things in regards to what's happening in the jungle scene particularly, or was you?
Yes and no.
Right.
And see, because this is where it gets dicey, because I don't want to sound like I'm hating.
No.
But there's some jump up tunes, like, and when I say jump up, let's have it right and say it, because remember there was a jump up in the 90s.
Yes, there was.
Yeah. So then you've got the new jump up.
Yeah.
Some of it, well, quite a lot of it, it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But that's fine, because at the end of the day, it's somebody else's cup of tea. So
yeah, certainly.
let them do that. There's the odd one that I hear and I'm like, okay, that works, because that will actually work with some classic jungle or whatever. So I keep up, but at the same instance, I'm still very much true to what got me into this stuff in the first place, which is the hardcore, but even more so the jungle. Because what it is with the hardcore, only certain tracks have stood the test of time. Yeah. Some of them haven't aged well, like at all. Like it's like you listen to them, and you're like, no, you just. They were good at the time, but you just can't anymore. So yeah, but I'm very much like classic jungle, and I don't even mind new artists making stuff that is reminiscent of the golden era.
So like the Tim Reapers and
all of that.
Do
you know what I mean? Because to a degree, you got to move with the times. Yeah, you can't just So yeah, there's a lot of new stuff that I like, and I buy new and old stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like, So I've kept up to a degree, but like the jump up stuff, some of it I'm like. But see, again, my thing with that is. It's different types of people. As for instance, you've got like your LTJ Bookums and people like that, which are classically trained, and so they know the scales and all the rest of it. So when it concerns them making tunes and building a tune or whatever, this like the harmonies and melodies, they're going to be on point.
Absolutely paramount. Yeah.
Then you've got some youngsters that it's not their fault. They've not played an instrument. No one's pushed them to play an instrument. They've just got plugins. Yeah. So they just have to do what they think. Yeah. So, okay, some of the B lines might be on point, but some of them are a bit off key. So that's the difference. That's all it is. Because it's almost like, if you're talking about real musicians and stuff, look at like people like Earth, Wind and Fire. Yeah. What went into any of their compositions?
Got ya. Yeah.
The horn section. Yeah. The guitar, the strings, and everything. Yeah. And then look at what's happening today. Like, is there an Earth, Wind and Fire in 2022? To that extent?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, they might be, but I mean, I wouldn't be able to call them out.
Well, see, neither can I. And don't get me wrong. There's individual artists that have mastered their own craft at the particular instrument they play. But I'm talking about like what we grew up with. A full band, like even like the Fatback Band or the JBs, a whole Parliament, Funkadelic, a whole band where everybody was about their shit and everybody was on point with it.
What's his name? I was going to say actually a little bit. Who's the Hawaiian boy, the young boy?
Bruno Mars. And then you got
the Anderson .Paak. Yeah. So they're kind of holding that. I remember seeing the performance of Bruno Mars' band, and they were like all in sync and dancing and shit. And I was like, all right, you know what? That's cool, man. You know what I
mean? They're that's getting closer to it. Because they are trying to keep with the real musicianship. And all the rest of it. Because if you notice, Anderson .Paak, he started off rapping.
Yes, Anderson .Paak was Griselda, man.
Like, he's like, and he plays the drums and everything, but now he's sort of moved more over to doing the Silk Soul or whatever the group
they've done together, innit? Yeah, that project they've done.
Now they're doing that. So, But it's like I even said to Mark Mack the other day, we were talking, we were on a post about something. Somebody had passed away. It was either who was it? Oh, it might have been Pharaoh Sanders or something.
Oh yeah, Pharaoh, the jazz musician.
Yeah. Somebody passed away, and then I said to him, I said, we're losing the greats like that, and we're not necessarily replacing them.
No.
Not necessarily.
No.
Because there are some people out there. Like for instance, Ashley Henry.
Okay.
Like UK jazz artist.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Who's the other one? There's another one. Moses Boyd. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never heard of him, but yeah.
I'll send you.
Yeah.
They're all on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like they're actually about their business.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Is it Youssef Days, the drummer guy, like the sort of Arabic looking good dude? Youssef Days, or oh god, we're fucking up his name probably. He's gonna be like,
you know what I mean?
yeah, but he's like, I always see videos of him playing and like, you know, there's sort of like, there is sort of like, I mean, I've heard that jazz in this country is in a bit of a renaissance again. There's a lot of new jazz musicians.
Yeah. And there's even some youngsters like people below our generation. And I forget there was two guys and I've forgotten their name, but yeah, they're doing jazz and like they're doing it in the traditional sense and mixing it a bit with newer styles of music and whatnot. But you know what? The thing is, there's music.
Yeah.
There's music everywhere. You just have to know where to look for it. Or you just have to be prepared to spend the time.
To do a bit of digging, yeah. It's a bit of searching.
And of course, while you're digging, you're going to see some stuff that tries to throw you off or whatever, but you just got to...
wait for all that shit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm a fan of a guy called Rick Simpson. I don't know if you know much about him. He sort of re-imaged a lot of the Radiohead albums and sort of like retooled them into sort of like these jazz compositions.
No, I'll have to.
Yeah, and he's he messaged me the other day to tell me he's back in Jazz Cafe in December. He's going to be doing another project. So he's done like In Rainbows and Kid A. He's done like re-imaged versions of those albums.
Okay.
But in completely really abstract jazz ways. And it's incredible.
See, with stuff like that, I say to all my friends that are into music or whatever, I'm like, if you know about, shout me, just say, look, do you want to go? Because I'll go just for the experience.
Yeah.
Because you might learn something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might go and then think to yourself, oh, I didn't like that. But at the same instance, to me, it would still be a night out.
Yeah.
And obviously, okay, there's the music. Yeah. And you've gone with somebody who you get on with. So it wasn't all bad.
No,
Maybe you didn't get on with the music or whatever. But at the same instance, that's not enough to say, oh, I didn't like that night.
Well, I went to see Rick Simpson with my ex. So what I learned about that night is that she's a cunt. But yeah, it's fine. Sorry, let it go, Chris. Let it go. It's fine. It's fine. It's over. It's fine. I'm fine now. It's all good. But no, I'm still a fan of Rick Simpson.
Just not a fan of her.
Not so much. Not so much. Yes. I might have to. I've worked it out in my songs. It's fine. I wrote a load of music about it. It's fine. That's my because people was you should get some therapy. No, my therapy is making music.
I'll put it in the
or listening to it. You know what I mean? That's where my therapy is. Although I would always recommend if you need therapy, go and get it. Yeah. And I have had therapy in the past, but it's just like
it works for some people.
It works for some, not always. And like, you know, Hamza No Nation was saying how it's really, really been instrumental for him. And so
most for some people I know that have been said it's really done the business for them. Do you know what I mean?
But it's just for me.
I don't want to unpack.
You don't want to delve too deep. You're scared of what you're going to find.
Yeah, I'm just like
yeah. No, but I did see a therapist for a while, and then sort of like dug up. You know, sort of like, oh shit, yes. You know, it's about my childhood and, you know, stuff like that. You know, I come from quite a large family myself. You know, it's like, you know, there was probably a couple of bits and bobs there that, we don't need to talk about. But you know what I mean? Right. It's But I mean, you know, we're both fans of like the underground stuff, you know, or you know, and I know you probably like some of the more commercial-minded drum and bass as well. You know, like myself, I like all styles of drum and bass. Mm-hmm. But I mean, would you say, and I've asked everyone this on the show, would you say there's a distinct difference between jungle and drum and bass?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is. Right. Okay. Well, first of all, let's dispel the myths, because sometimes when you say jungle to certain people, there's certain things that just come up for them. Mm-hmm. They're like reggae, rare groove, soul. They say these things. Yeah. There's jungle out there that doesn't have any reggae samples in it whatsoever. No, exactly. No rare groove, nothing. Yeah. Like the early Photech stuff. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, jungle is not any one thing. It's just. It's a feeling. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So yeah, but also now you do have this kind of drum and bass where the main beat is different.
Yeah.
The main beat is different, and it's kind of on a happier tip.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got maybe female or a male vocal going through it.
That's a bit more sort of popified.
Yeah. And that, to me, that's the main difference. And the thing is, it doesn't mean that drum and bass is any lesser to jungle, because there's some wicked drum and bass tracks.
Yeah.
There's some wicked commercial drum and bass tracks.
Okay.
Just off the cuff, Nookie, and he did that I Know You Got Soul.
Yeah.
On Overshadow.
Right. Okay.
That's more on the commercial side of things, drum and bass.
Yeah.
It's a nice bit of music.
It's a beautiful bit of music.
Yeah. So do you see what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not here to like diss anything like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like if it's not my cup of tea, it's not my cup of tea. I can appreciate the beauty in most things, even if it's not my cup of tea. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's a few DJ Hazard tracks that you just, do you know what I mean? It's like,
Machete is still a fucking tune, mate. I'm sorry, I fucking love Machete. But the only thing that annoys me is that, you know, like, it's got that first bit and it's like it's more stepper style, and then he changes to a two-step beat. Yeah. I'm like, why don't you keep it like it was at the beginning?
Do you know what? The one from DJ Hazard that I like is that Set Tripping.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's a liberty of a track.
Yeah.
But then, did you see, it was just around the time of the George Floyd thing was going about, and obviously the tensions was heightened and that.
Yeah.
And somebody, a guy, I think a white guy, was on the train being racist.
Yeah. Alright, and he's listening to Hazard.
No, he was, I don't even know who did this. He was being racist to the young boys, and like they were ignoring him for most parts, and he kept going on and he kept going on and he kept.
Was it on the tube?
Yeah. And when they decided to get off, one of them decided to just
like, clocked him proper, didn't they? Yeah, one punch knocked him straight out.
And then somebody decided to put Billy, have you been set tripping?
And when they put the music to the video.
And I was like, it's a liberty, but it was funny.
Yeah. That's a funny video though. He was being an absolute dick.
Yeah. And the thing is, they were holding it down.
They were being
really
really
on and on and on. He was goading them and goading them and goading them and goading them and goading them. And they took it.
Yeah.
But then they were just like, no.
I think they were just waiting for the door to open so they could punch him in the mouth. Because like, I think they were like, all right, as soon as that door's open, we're just going to just weigh him out. And the first guy just clocked him. It was a great punch as well.
Just give him one, and that was that. And he's on his back.
And he was out cold, and then someone come and went, oh,
I think
what
they tried
happened?
to put him in the recovery position.
Yeah.
Some people's like, leave him,
he's a racist. yeah.
But you can't really leave him, can you?
No, because
at least put him in a recovery position.
Yeah, just make sure you don't die.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you got
to kill anybody out
you got murder investigation in your hands, or at the very least manslaughter. But
someone actually shouted, leave him.
He definitely deserved that. He was a dick. And he was just being really obnoxious. And like people were just sort of like saying, look, you don't have to be like this, just calm down, just relax.
I don't know what happens to them.
He was charged, he was smash up.
Yeah, but not everybody gets charged.
No, of course not.
So I don't know what happened to these people.
Well, just I don't know, I think since the Floyd thing, I've been sort of joking lately about it, like that. I sometimes get the feeling that, you know, the white guilt's starting to run out. Do you know what I mean? It's just like at the time everyone was like, you know, we're going to learn, we're going to do better, we're going to and you know, all this sort of talking about learning and growing, and then it stops, and then basically everyone's like, fuck it, we're back to normal. Yeah, it's just like, do you know what I mean? It's like I've seen it with the certain labels, I've seen it with certain events. You know, everyone was sort of struggling. You know, certain black artists were getting bare gigs at a certain point because obviously there was a bit of, you know, people were trying to get, you know, bodies on their lineups,
bums on seats, and like
I mean,
people in position.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lineup. It was hilarious because they did it because it was during COVID, right? So there was a lineup. I won't say the name of the label because they're gonna fucking think I'm going after them. But they had a lineup, and it was literally all white boys, and then it got COVIDed, right? So it got cancelled, and then Floyd happened, BLM, all that, and then when they decided to do the lineup again, they just added 2 black DJs as special guests on the bottom. And it's like, look, it's fine. I get it, because, you know, they're trying to fix the problem, right? But it was like,
don't fix it in a bait way.
I mean, yeah, exactly, and it's
don't be bait about it.
Yeah.
Just do it properly.
Just do it because you want to. Yeah,
it's not hard.
No, exactly.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
It really isn't hard.
Yeah, it was so obvious though, and it was just like, surely you would, well, I mean, they probably didn't get called out for it because end of the day they had these two quite well known names, you know, sort of. But it was so funny because I had the same flyer and then special guests, blah blah and blah blah. I won't say the two DJs.
Remember your epic rant. I won't mention the name.
Yeah, my former employers, as I call them. I just that's the only way I could say it.
You know what? That was a madness.
Yeah.
And then when you took them to task and asked them, and this is even before the rant, like when you were saying to them, like, what about the names that they mentioned? It was like, it's painful because I'm like, is that all you can say? Just those two?
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, there was.
Terrible.
I mean, it was a weird thing, and I think what I think the thing that's sad, I mean, the saddest thing about all of that is that unfortunately, and this is indicative of society more than anything else, but unfortunately, most of the vitriol I received were from other black people, and this is what people don't get. I'm trying to explain to people, like, honestly, like, I've had absolute abject hate from, you know, a couple of particular people who just really didn't enjoy the fact.
When I saw the rant and I listened to what you were saying about how it all went down, I was just like, you know what? Because I didn't own anything by them.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. Not.
Yeah.
I think somebody might have given me a download of something once where I've just seen the name.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I am so glad that, because I didn't know about them because I was still into what I'm into and everything else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? This could have gone left where it could have been one of those labels that I've ploughed my time and energy into thinking that it was the one.
There was some people that
and
felt
then all
that
of
way.
a sudden,
Yeah.
someone's just like opened the door and said, listen, this is what they really look like.
Yeah.
I'm just weird. Glad. I was so glad. I was like, you know what? I don't have to throw out no records. I don't have to make up. I don't have to pour hot water on no USB on. I was like, I'm good.
You didn't have to cancel in your mind. I mean, it was a weird time. But I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about, you know, the scene and the other thing I learned is that, you know that it's not so much. I don't want to keep saying white people. You know what I mean? I just don't want to keep saying white people this, white people that, because that's the thing I didn't want to keep doing, because it wasn't white people in that sense. It was just
some white people.
It was just some of them, and just minority, small minority, and again, even then, it's just a matter of, you know, sometimes, I don't know, I sort of akined it to a pub, you know, like when you got a local pub and like you get a certain person from a certain part of the world in that pub, and then within, you know, 2 or 3 months, you know, 5 or 6 of the staff are from that same part of the world. So it's just about liking being around which is fine. But I think that we as people, we are happy to kind of accommodate and take in, and it doesn't seem like that's always returned.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's something that, you know, we at Black Jungle Alliance, everything else, we always talk about that we're above that. We always take in. We always, you know, we're always happy, you know. How many times you got a dance all night or a hip hop night, and there might be mostly black crowd, and there'll be 1 or 2 white people in the crowd, and those white people will have the best time, and no one give me trouble, and no one does anything. Yeah. You know, if me and you went to, like, you know, I don't know, a death metal event or something. I mean, not to hate on death metal people, but I don't know whether we'll be treated with as much.
Might just, you'd at least get some looks.
You might get some looks. I mean, maybe I don't know. Actually, maybe we should try it. We should do that as a moment before. Maybe we should test it. Do like. You know what I mean? Do a hidden camera thing. See how it goes. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, wow, what's happening here? Like, you know what I mean? Because maybe they'll be like, oh shit, oh cool, you know, it's like, it's good to see you guys here. You know, it's always a thing. But I mean, all of that put aside, I mean, I still love this music. I mean, I still, and I'm glad that, you know, at least, you know, all right, yeah, I said my shit, but then other people said theirs.
You know what it is? You know what it is for me? It's like, with all the musics,
yes,
the great musics that we all liked. Reggae, obviously, is Jamaican.
Of course.
Hip hop, it's American.
Yeah.
Even jazz, American. Even like R&B, all that, it was all American. But see, hardcore and jungle.
It's British.
That's
yeah,
us.
it's ours. Yeah, very
It's
much
us.
so. So
I never thought we would get to that stage where, because remember, we always used to look to America for,
Yes.
or other countries.
Yes.
Even like South and that, you were looking to South America and everything.
Yeah.
I never thought we would have something which was us.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, look what happened.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And obviously it's gone worldwide now. It's gone worldwide.
It's one of our greatest
You know what
British
I mean?
exports.
But this is us.
Yeah, very much so.
And nobody can take that away from us.
And it is the amalgam of all the different elements. Yes, black culture is at the core of it, but it's the ingenuity of different people from different parts of the world.
See, it's like, again, if we're talking about jungle or even hardcore or whatever, I don't want people to think that, because it's not a black thing. Because look, you got your DJ hypes, you got your photo, you got white people that was there from the start.
Inception, and I would never argue against that.
From the start.
Absolutely.
From the start.
Absolutely.
Foundation, just like
Absolutely.
any of the other. This is what I'm saying. So, but if you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, if you don't know, then I don't know, you might get confused, or you might think people are talking about something else or excluding other people. But no, it's, do you know what I mean? It's been about everybody from the beginning.
It was always about everyone together, and then something just went wrong. Not wrong, but something changed. And I still, to this day, I don't know whether I really want to spend too much energy on it anymore, because, trying to work out what changed, I just feel like it's a waste of energy. I'd rather sort of work on, how
let's try and get back to
it. You know what I mean? Like, or a version of it.
Yes, exactly. Because maybe we can't go back, but
yeah, because getting the younger black kids in, or younger, kids of colour even, you know what I mean? Certain people suggested that we when opportunities come for for promoters to book diverse DJs, they generally go for like the generation maybe above us a little bit, and sort of always sort of end up there.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe some of those promoters need to sort of like, all right, well, let's just start looking down, and that's me included. You know what I mean? When I'm getting back to the nights again next year, I've got to start looking at who are the kids coming through,
and what have they got to bring,
and what they got to bring, and what they're going to be doing, and who are they going to attract? Because No Nation, he said, one of the issues for him is that apart from like Tim Reaper, there's not really many other people sort of getting the opportunities to play, and maybe people need to start trying to push certain other people to front and centre. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I don't know how you initially solve it. I think there needs to be a bit more evangelistical core to what we do in certain social groups, but I just don't really know how.
It's not. Yeah, it's a hard one. It's going to take a few heads to get together, and because there's always room for change.
Yeah,
there's always room for change. But it's not an easy thing to do, because like you say, everyone say yeah we'll do it, and then people start and then people fall back.
So tell me about working. Are you working in a nursery?
I do.
Yes. I was like, I didn't really realise until we were trying to organise this. I didn't know that about you. Because obviously you can't post pictures and stuff, can you? So you work. Yeah.
Protection and of
course. Yeah, of course.
But no, I've been doing this for the last 7 years or so.
Wow. Okay, so you've been in a long time.
Qualified level 3 early years educator.
Fuck. So you're proper.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've got to do it properly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, but yeah. Because the thing is, for me, I was always working, like, doing music in one way, shape or form or another. And then there was a period where I wasn't sure, like, because obviously the internet came in and changed how people bought records.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No more van coming along.
Yeah.
All that went away. And so then it's like, then there was a period where I was like, what am I going to do? Because all I like to do is buy music.
Yeah.
And all I like to do is buy music and help sell music on to the shops that can't get accounts with the major labels and that.
Got ya.
But when that went away, I really didn't know what I was going to do. And then I'm skipping a period of my life. But
we're going.
Then when my son was born, I was a stay-at-home dad. But then obviously he got to like 5 and then he had to go to nursery. So then it was by chance. A friend of mine on Facebook said, "Oh, do you want a part-time job in a nursery?" So I thought, you know what, I need to do something. And the hours seemed to be okay because I think it was 10 until 2. So I was still able to do that and then still pick up my boy from school afterwards. And then, and I said to her at the time, I said, look, do I need any qualifications for this? And they were like, not at the moment, because all you're going to be doing is just lunch cover, just making sure the kids eat their food in the right order. And that kind of thing. So I was doing that for a bit. Then I was helping out in between the 2 rooms because they had 2 rooms, like I think 2 to 3 year olds and 3 to 4 year olds. And then whilst I was there, they just said, do you want to study for your level 3 in childcare, like early years educator? So I was like, I thought, you know what, I'm not doing anything else. And I was doing all right. The kids seemed to like me and that. So I did. I studied and I passed. And this is me.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, and I'm really enjoying it.
And I mean, you when you came in, you were like, the kids are running you ragged.
No, because they do.
Yeah, they must be.
It's different.
Yeah.
For instance, how can I put it? It's like I was in a nursery in, let's say, Harleston, argument's sake. The kids are bad, but not bad. Like they're just different, and the stuff that they do, like they'll have you in stitches. Some of the stuff that you see and all that is funny, but then now I'm in a let's call it a posh area for argument's sake.
Yeah.
The kids are just different. They strop.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? They just strop.
So it's more So it's physical warfare, and now it's psychological warfare.
For instance, let's say in the hood, if you're in a nursery in a hood and there's 8 children and you can only pick one, and you say, oh look, who wants to do such and such, and you let them know I can only pick one. They all put their hands up, so you pick one. The ones in the hood, they'll realise that, okay, it couldn't be me, and even if they might have a little bit of a moan, but that will be finished within 2 or 3 seconds. They just get on with it.
Got ya.
These other children now, they're gonna have a proper strop, fold their arms, and like
they're gonna probably write their lawyers.
Like really just.
It's like, you'll be hearing from my lawyer.
It's just different, but they're funny. But the thing for me is, my comfort zone is 2 to 3 year olds.
Right. Okay.
I love that age.
Yeah.
Because they kind of know what's what, but then they don't. Do you know what I mean? That's.
They still need teaching, don't they? So, but it's like,
for instance, like in my nursery, you've got the baby room.
Yeah.
Like babies can't talk.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's different. It's different.
Jake was about 6-8 months when he went to nursery, so he was very young, like he was a baby still. You know what I mean?
I still prefer it where if something happens to a child, even if they're freaking out or whatever, because of their age, you can say to them, "What happened to you?" Use your words, and once they calm down or whatever, they can say, "He hit me," which is usually or they'll just point. Or sometimes they don't even have to point. You can see the child that is upset, and then you look across the room, and you can just see the guilty one. They're standing there.
They haven't worked out to lie yet.
To start it out.
I love that age.
Yeah, because they're innocent. So of course the guilt just comes through.
Yeah.
Me.
It's funny because my mum, right up to like my early teens. If I was in the house and then I did something stupid or I broke something or whatever, and then Mum would come back and she'd look at my face and she'd go, "What's happened?" Right? And I'd be like, "How the fuck does she know?" Obviously, I didn't say that at 11 years old.
But
it's funny. I never used to know that, and then now with Jake, like it's the same thing. It's like with the old flat when one time he was up at, I remember there was a time when he first got his tablet, stupid fucking tablet his mum bought him. And then I remember there was one night where I told him to go to bed, put the tablet away, whatever. And so I've left him, gone to bed. And then like an hour later, I've gone downstairs to get a drink or something. And come up the stairs and underneath, this is my old place. You can
see the light.
I can see the light underneath the thing. So I sneak up to the door and I open the door And he just panics and he just throws the tablet to the other side of the room. It's just like...
Yeah, I'm not using it. It wasn't me.
Just dashed it away like so fast. It's like, Jake, like, what? I can see what you're doing. Like, what you doing? It was just so funny. It's hilarious how they do that. And how old's your son now?
He's 10.
Oh, wow. So, right, okay. So
he just turned 10 August.
So next year he'll be going to secondary school?
Yes, we've already started looking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's crazy. It's like, where does the time go?
Honestly, Jacob's like, you know, it's the mobile phone conversation now. It's like, and I've got a cheap old sort of phone, and it's not like a smartphone. It's like, you know, the ones that are sort of half smart and half old school. They're sort of like colour screen or whatever.
See, my boy's got my old phone. I think it's the iPhone 6 or 7.
Oh, okay.
And he was all right with it until I got the one where it's got the free, I forget what it's, 12 or something. It's got the free cameras on it. So then I tried to style it out. I'm like, we got the same phone. He's like, no. He goes, you've got free things on the back. And
you can see, it's smart.
But do you think I could say that to my dad when I was younger? If we had those kind of things?
No.
You get what you're
given.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I kind of have, for all intents and purposes, put my foot down in this one, because what I said to his mother is that the longer we could keep him away from online porn, the better. So it's just like, you want to throw a bloody smartphone at him, and fine, but I don't want to do that.
The thing is, like with Siri and all stuff like that, they can find out things that...
Yeah.
Because my son used to do that, even at 5. Like, he would be watching gaming channels, and they're referencing... And it's YouTube, so... And you put the child lock on, so nothing really bad gets through.
No, but it's still
the gamers they'll be referencing Freddy Krueger and stuff. They'll just say stuff, and so then he'd be like, he'd say, Siri, who's Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, and they'll get a lot of images up.
Information comes up.
Yeah.
That's how he found out about a lot of things, just asking Siri.
Yeah. I mean, Jake's... I mean, I still don't know how much psychological damage I did to my son, because he was... maybe about 3 or 4, and I'd already split up with his mum, and there was one night where I fell asleep on the sofa of a flat I was in Lewisham, and he came, and then for whatever reason, no, he might have been young, he must have been younger actually, he's probably about 3, and he come in, he sat down, I was asleep on the sofa, he just come and sat next to me on the sofa, right? Now, it was, Channel 4 was on, and I was watching something, and then when I fell asleep, alright, it's obviously gone on, I must have been asleep for a little while. But when I've woken up, I've seen Saw is on the TV, right?
And was he just sitting there watching?
And he's just sitting there watching Saw. And I'm just like, oh my God, how much of this has gone in, you know what I mean? And then, and I remember there was a period, maybe about 4 or 5 years after that, when he's about 8, sort of 7, 8 now, and he starts drawing, he started doing all these horror characters and, all this blood and all this crazy stuff. And I thought he was getting some stuff out, and I'm thinking, I wonder if it was that Saw movie.
Especially my son, he went through a phase where he was into like horror characters.
Yeah, I guess they all
Jason, Freddy Krueger and that, and Pennywise the Clown, that was the other one. He was mad for Pennywise the Clown.
Well, he liked the character.
Yeah, just like the character.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I'm not going to let him watch the film or anything like that, but through YouTube I don't know, they have a way of just showing you a little clip. Nothing really bad, but they just show you the character. And he was like, he was hell-bent on that for a while. And Freddy Krueger and that. And then he's kind of come out of it, because now he's into anime.
Yes, so, my son's,
but even that, some of it, I'm like...
Yeah. What's the one, Academy?
That's what, not... Akira, yeah.
No, not Akira, Academia.
The Umbrella Academy.
No, the Umbrella Academy, that's good, that's great.
That's very good.
That's really good. Hero Academy, it's like an academy for superheroes.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like a school where the superheroes go and learn how to...
There's so many of them. And I'm forever taking him down to Forbidden Planet.
Oh yeah, same here. Yeah.
We go down there and then he's like, what one should I buy? And I'm like, look, just try and get them in order. But I don't know, Forbidden Planet are a bit whack, where there's sometimes he's gone there and there's, I don't know, maybe volume 1 or volume 2 isn't there. And I'm like, you can see there's a demand for it, because there's loads of people here asking for it. I'm like, when are they coming back?
Yeah.
And they never seem to have them in stock. So then it gets weird. I'm like, no, just sort the people out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or at least work out some system where they can sign up for something, so when something comes out, they get notified, and then they can
double check, because I'm on their mailing list, and there are things when you get the mailing list, there's certain things you want to get. You can put like a sort of like wish list.
I feel bad for him. You go down there and he's got already 3, 4 and 5. He's just waiting on 1 and 2 or something. Or sometimes he's got 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 are missing, and then they got 6 and 7 and and you just want to you just want him to get the little set. But so he's not into the horror stuff as much anymore. Do you know what I mean? But now it seems to be all anime.
Well, the anime, because I think the horror thing is just them working out how they're just dealing with what they're scared of, innit? Do you know what I mean? And he's like, and even now he's 11. He's like, occasionally, he watches YouTube, and he'll watch mine, and I don't necessarily always have the adult lock on. So then, so sometimes there'll be things that get shown. I'm like, oh, Jake, come on, man, we doing? Like, do you know what I mean? You should be watching that. But then it was like he saw the trailer by accident for Smile. There was like a new horror movie.
Okay.
That came out recently, and there's a scene in it where it's about these people that like just have this. I don't know. I've got it on my my dodgy stick. I've got to watch it actually. But there's a scene where this girl comes up to the window and puts her hands on the window, and her neck sort of twists around upside down. And he saw that, and he just freaked out. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, Jake, oh sorry. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't his fault, because there was like more suitable trailers just before. No,
with my son, I'm like, listen. If you watch stuff you're not supposed to see, that's your business. If you get scared, that's on you. You know you're not supposed to be watching stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, keep on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that kind of works.
Yeah. The thing I always remind Jacob is that it's not real. Like, do you know what I mean? And I think, he saw like a clip of The Ring. The American one, and the birds coming out of the TV. Do you know what I mean? And like, he didn't get freaked out by that. But then there was an episode of Family Guy he watched, and he absolutely freaked out over it because he just couldn't, because he hates sight of blood. He gets really freaked out with sight of blood.
Okay. Because I used to play Mortal Kombat with my son, but I used to take the blood off.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then after a while, he was like. He got to an age and he's like, Dad, I know it's not real, so you can put the blood back on.
They sort of work it out, don't they?
So I'm like, okay. And even when he was younger, because I explained to him, I said, look, there's fantasy violence and there's real violence. Yeah. These fighting games, that's fantasy violence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but they kind of know. I mean, sometimes we don't give them enough credit. They're not dumb. They're not dumb.
No, they're not. I mean, I remember Itchy and Scratchy was pretty like in The Simpsons.
Do you know what? That's mad, right? Hilarious, but look at what they were actually doing. Some of the stuff that actually happened in Itchy and
Honestly,
Scratchy. I'm like, that's mad. That's like pure sadistic stuff.
I mean, it was crazy what Itchy and Scratchy were doing to each other, like throwing acid on each other and doing all this sort of shit. And like, it's like I used to watch that quite young, you know what I mean? And like Jake's watched some of them.
It was funny.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, because it was like...
It was Tom and Jerry.
But it was Tom and Jerry on steroids.
On steroids.
Because...
you know what I mean? It's just one of those things that, you know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? Like, end of the day, kids. And the same with me. So my son, probably people are going to be mortified to hear this, but I do swear quite a lot in front of him. I don't mean to. Oh, no. I know. And some people are going to be like, oh, Chris, that's terrible. And it's like, all right, okay, but... Here's my thing. I would just rather Jake learnt that shit from me, right? I know that sounds irresponsible, but I just always kind of feel like I've had conversations. I mean, he's 11 now. I've had conversations with him about things as ranging as what cocaine is, and what drugs are, and
See, I think my boy's a bit of a baby still. He don't know anything.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Everyone's got their levels, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's like with Jake, I just was always like, look, he's not gonna. I don't want him to learn that off the guy from the corner.
I think my boy might know what weed is. Because I say now, we were going to an event, right? And it was a family event.
Yeah.
Walking down the street, and then somebody was going to the same thing, and they was bunning a zoot. So
yeah.
They sort of walked past, and the person was like, he goes, do you mind? And I was like, no, because do what you're doing. It's not me.
Yeah.
But then the person, after they started to speed up, they walked off, and then my boy was like, Daddy, is he smoking drugs? I was like, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What am I going to say?
Well, I mean,
he's not silly. He can smell it.
Yeah.
I said yes. Yes, he is.
Yeah. Well, mine was the balloons. Well, I had Jake with me at Carnival. So I've taken him every year since he's about 3 or 4. And there was one year where I couldn't go on the Children's Day, and I went on the Monday.
Yeah.
So it was a lot more, seedy. You know what I mean?
Of course. And Monday's always a bit more.
Yeah, it's a bit more growing up, right? So we're there, and then he's going, Dad, why all these teenagers got balloons? Like, why are they blowing them up, but then letting them go down again? And I'm like, well, because there's something in it that makes you feel like really nice for a few seconds, and it's just a thing. There's why are they doing that? Well, because people just like to do things that make them feel good, and some of the things that make you feel good aren't necessarily that good for you. You know what I mean? It's like if you eat too much chocolate, son, right? That's not a good thing, is it? Do you know what I mean? But like if you have one bar, it's fine. If you have 100 bars, it's terrible. So I sort of gone from that sort of thing, but then it sort of like 2 years later when I had my motor. Was in the car and I'm playing Griselda, and then Jake's like, so when they say bricks, all right,
see, I don't even play Griselda.
I'll play West Side Gun and everything in front of him. And he goes, yeah, I know. But I just think, fuck it. He goes, when they say bricks, they're not talking about actual bricks, are they, Dad? And I'm like, no, son. No, they're talking about drugs. And I just have the conversation. I just say what it is. And just get it over and done with, and just so he knows he's learnt it from his dad. I'd rather he learnt it from me. And I even said to him, if you ever want to try drugs, you come to me first. You do it with your dad first, because I'd rather
rather than
someone or someone show you and all kinds of foolishness and something goes wrong, whatever. I mean, there might be people listening to this thinking, Paydro and Chris are terrible fathers, but or Chris at least is an absolutely terrible father. But I remember in a group conversation I got to actually, you know what? I'm going to call him out. Only because he was right. He's right. But I remember we were talking. There was a group chat, and Stretch was on the chat, and I was in the car, and I was talking to the group, and I swore. And he goes, "Did you say your son's with you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "What are you swearing for, man?" I was like, "Yeah, all right, well, fuck off." You know what I mean? I can swear for my son if I want. You know what I mean? I don't care. Do you know what I mean? It's my son. But he's right. Like, I probably shouldn't have been. He was right. But it was just funny to me because, everyone's got their different moral code, innit? And so, for
my
me...
My missus swears around my son more than I do. I don't.
Sorry, who's that?
My missus.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean...
I'm not stop swearing, but...
I mean... They're gonna hear it.
They're gonna hear it.
They're gonna hear it.
They must do at school when they're with their little friends. Cause you got kids that are like 10 years old, and then there's some of them have got brothers that are 15 and 16.
Got older kids, exactly. They hear it.
Or even when they're online playing PlayStation 4, they've had people saying stuff. Because my son's come to me and said, "Oh, somebody said this, that, and the third to me."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Look, this is why I keep telling you when you're on that, don't talk." I said, "These people are not your friends."
Yeah, I know.
I said, "Your friends are the people that you go to school with, and you know what they look like. You know what their mum and dad looks like. These people online are not
you just
your
know
friends."
Who they are. Yeah, no, totally.
And I said, and that's the other thing. I'm like, you could be speaking to somebody that's like 30, 40, 50 years old, and they're pretending to be
your age. Yeah, exactly. Fucking weirdos. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, but Jake had a period of Fortnite when he would start to do like matches. And then, I come in the room once and I heard someone screaming, "Nigger this and nigger that," and I was like,
"This is what I'm saying. It happens."
It's just like, what are you doing? But again, you have the conversation, you guard him, you educate him, and hopefully galvanise him for the future. I mean, that's what I always feel my role is as a father is, his mum nurtures, and but like we protect and prepare a little bit, for the world. Not saying that mums don't do that, and it's not saying that we can't nurture either. Different. But I just feel like it's a different relationship, and especially where he's a young man, it's about making sure he's,
the same way. If you've got a daughter, your missus will show her certain things that you can't show her.
100%.
This
is what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then there's bits where it can overlap, and each can show each. But
exactly.
But fundamentally, if you're a man, you're going to show your son how to do certain things.
Yeah, exactly.
And your missus will even look to you to show them.
Exactly.
They're like, that's not my thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But I take my son to the barbers.
Yeah.
He doesn't go with my missus. I take him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's got, yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, there was the barbers in Penge used to go to when I was still living in Palace. And Jake would just be like, "Oh, Jake," he goes, "Why do they all shout?" Why are they always shouting?
Yeah, but
I was like, "Well, that's
black barbers
black barbers." That's what I mean. Yeah.
When you're young, yeah, it's a different.
It's different energy.
Yeah, you just go in there and then you get older and then you realise. But when you're young,
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they're talking this very strong patois, so I didn't always even understand. I mean, I've had this battle with barbers over the years. Anyway, it's not a battle. It's just sort of like a little internal joke. But it's just like that thing of, I'm not, neither of my parents are Jamaican, right? So I'm not that au fait with typical Jamaican
Or
patois.
sometimes they could just be, they're just deep in the lingo and and something's just going over your head.
Yeah, I just don't know what they're saying a lot of the time. But then,
especially when you're young.
Yeah.
When you're young and you're like, what did you say?
Yeah. Some people will be saying, "Oh,
because remember we were born in this country."
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's like I don't always understand the full, ins and outs of all the patois. So, like, sometimes, so there's been times I sat in the field and I'm like, "Wait, are you talking to me?" Like, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, just."
Yeah, my son gets a bit digi when he goes to the barbers.
Yeah.
It's all quiet and...
Yeah, but that's the thing. I wanted to make sure Jake wasn't like that. Like, sorry, let me rephrase. What I mean is, I wanted to make sure that Jacob, because obviously he lives with his mum in Hertfordshire.
They get
past it. Yeah.
It's like you go in there, because remember now, black barbers, you go in there, you get people walking in and they'll come in, they're shotting different things.
Right, yeah.
Remember now, and you're a youngster, you're looking thinking, where did you get that from?
Yeah.
Remember, they're just conducting their business.
Yeah, 100%.
Out in the open.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
the guy comes with a plastic bag full of hooky DVDs. You know what I mean?
All of that goes on.
Or the mixtapes, you know what I mean? That's the other one, coming with the CDs and all the bashment and all that, you know what I mean?
So, it's like...
But I wanted Jake to see all that. I need him to see all that. Because, again, he grows up, he lives with his mum in Hertfordshire. So his existence out there is it's all horses and, it's all like horsey and stuff. But he loves coming to London and being with me because he knows that, he's been around, members of the LGBTQ, he's been around, all different, not just like black and white, he's been around all cultures, around here, like where I am, you've got the Turkish element, you got a Pakistani element, you've got so many different people, and Jake sees all that now, and he experiences different cultures in a very unique and individualistic way. And so it means that I'm hoping that in the future, he's going to be sort of, just not an arsehole, basically. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, that's all we could do to guide our children,
just hope for the best. But they get there in the end. Yeah,
they do in the end, I suppose.
And if they don't, then you fucked up, innit?
It's like... So you just got the one? You just got the one?
No, I've got a 17-year-old as well.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah, just long story.
Okay, well.
No.
Okay. But I mean, can I ask?
Okay.
No,
it's just like it's like just people be spiteful.
Right.
And, just stop you seeing your child.
Right. Yeah.
One of them ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, she turned 17 November the 17th. Actually.
Right.
So this year.
Yeah. Oh, we just had it.
Yeah.
Just
17.
Just gone. Yeah. So do you don't,
nothing?
You don't get to see it?
Nothing.
Oh, don't get me started, mate. Yeah. Don't get me started.
This is what I'm saying. So now.
Yeah, I mean, if things had gone a certain way, I think if it was up to Jake's mum, I think she would have probably preferred to have done that. But I just was like, just because you moved to Hertfordshire, don't mean I must try it. I ain't. I'm not about it. It's just I don't know why. The
laws need to be changed. That's what it is.
Well,
because they don't work.
Well, that's what the Fathers for Justice was about. You see, because this is what I learned. I didn't realise because people just thought they were crazy dudes just as Batman, but these were guys that couldn't see their children. Of course not. And the legislation did get changed, but I think it's all about the birth certificate. As long as you're named as a father on the birth certificate, the mother can't stop you from.
It's not true.
Oh, is that not true?
It's not true.
Oh shit.
My name's on the birth certificate.
Oh shit.
Listen.
Okay.
They need to change the laws.
Yeah.
It's like, from what I understand, it's not. Your name could be on the birth certificate some more.
Yeah.
They all got no rights. Yeah.
See, that's disgusting.
If you're married.
Yeah.
If you're married and your name's on the birth certificate.
Right. Then that's when they can't stop you. Okay.
Can't stop, yeah. If your name's on a birth certificate.
That's I don't understand.
It don't mean too much. Found out the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the mother would stop a child seeing their father. I just, especially someone, you know, it's not like you're, you know, so, I mean, I don't know if you had any fractures with the law or anything like that, you know what I mean?
Come on.
No, you don't seem like the type. No, that's what I'm saying. So I don't understand. It's just pure spite, you know? I mean, my lawyer called it, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but my lawyer, who was a woman, she called it the arrogance of motherhood. She said that it's something intrinsic with a lot of women where they feel ownership because they carry a child, and so then it means that you as a father don't get to do or say or anything, and it's just, so I don't really seem right to me, and I just don't understand why any.
It's not right, but
you know,
there's a lot.
I can see.
There's a lot of laws that are just when they were made. It was a different time, so things were a certain way, and nobody's looking at them and addressing them, saying we need to update them.
Yeah.
It's like, remember on The Word, they used to show you every week. They will show you a law that hasn't been changed, and it will be.
What you mean the old?
Yeah, the old word.
Jesus, right. Just throw that out there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
The old word.
I used to love the word, man. Yeah.
They showed you things like
Christian.
It was illegal to drive down the street in a taxi with a goose sitting next to you, like. So then they did it. So the guy's driving, he's in a car and he's got a goose next to him. Yeah. And he's showing you, he's like, as it stands, I'm breaking the law.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to have a goose next. And then there was another one, I think in a taxi, you couldn't drive down the street without a bale of hay in your boot. But what it was, is because see, there's little loopholes. What it was, back in the day, obviously, before cars, it would be a horse-drawn carriage.
Yeah.
So you've got to have food for the horse, because you can't expect the horse to just keep doing whatever. So they've just played on that, where it's no longer a horse, it's a car.
Yeah.
But they're still saying it's a taxi.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's stuff like that, and there's lots of laws like that where they've just not updated them.
Well, I remember black cabs are not supposed to refuse you, are they? Yeah, I know. But like,
they're not supposed to refuse who?
Yeah, well, this is it, because they refuse us. Jesus Christ, they love refusing us. Boy, I remember being I was in Camden actually, and I was with a girl, previous girlfriend, and I remember there was a shop. I went into the shop to get some alcohol. She was outside. She hailed a cab. Black cab stopped, and then she said, "Oh, just wait." So she told me after this happened. So she said, "Oh, just wait. My boyfriend's just in the car." So he's like, "All right, cool." So I've come out of the shop and I've gone to get in the car. He started driving off, right? As I've gone to get in a taxi, and then she's screaming at him, going, "What are you fucking doing? You know what I mean? What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, sorry. You know what I mean?" Like this. What do you mean, sorry? Oh, I don't know. I just thought. What do you think? What do you think was gonna happen? What do you think was gonna happen? I just kept asking, "What do you think was gonna happen?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know, mate. Look, I tell you what, it's on me. Just took us where we were going, didn't charge us." It's like, yeah, damn right.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? It's like, you can just drive. I'm like running next to the car because I put the bag of booze in the car. It's like, he's going to drive off and let me keep the booze. You know what I mean? That's what annoying me more than anything else. But like, yeah, I mean, I remember me and Sterling MC, shout out Ibby, shout out to you, mate. We got back from, actually that was after a really mad altercation in Austria. We played in Innsbruck in Austria, and sort of ended up sort of bucking up with some neo-Nazis in a bar in Austria. And then he wanted to, because he's about it, and he wanted to fucking go to war with him. I'm like, bruv, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm in Austria, there's no backup, there's the two of us.
Yeah, I'm not here for that.
I ain't here for that, man. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not scared to have a row, but like, there's about 8 of them. Like, there's 2 of us, and we're not anywhere near safety. Like, do you know what I mean? We've got nowhere to go. We just got the hotel room staying, and that's it. So I said, look, let's not do this, mate. So we left, and then they sort of followed us out, and then, nothing happened, but they sort of like saw us away. So then that happens, and we come back all the way, come out of Liverpool Street, and we come back from Stansted Airport, racist fucking Stansted security as usual fucking place. And then we come to get a cab, and then the cab driver just refuses to take us south. And I mean, it's like 1 o'clock in the day. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't even like, like, not that it makes it right, but it was just annoying that he just refused to take us south. And then Ibby did sort of say, he just started quoting some shit at the guy and said, by law, means you have to take us, as he's saying it, the guy just drove off. And just like,
He's
like, yeah, I don't care. I don't give a shit. It's like, why? It's just like arseholes, man. But it is one of those things. But there you go. So, back to the music.
Off on a tangent and back to the music.
But this is what it's for, man. This is what it's about. It's back to the music. You, like, you know, you've seen so much happen, you know, like myself, and you've experienced the early days of jungle, you experienced the golden age, as some would call it, or at least as we would call it, although everyone's golden age will be different, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? What do you see for the future of jungle and drum and bass? Does it concern you, or are you hopeful, or are you?
No, it doesn't concern me as such, because the kind of people that are trying to keep it how it was, as in there's no politics, it's just about the music and good vibes and all the rest of it. They're still putting on gigs like that. Like, for instance, AKO.
Yeah.
Shout out to Stretch.
Always. Rupture, obviously.
Yeah. I was getting there.
Sorry, no.
We're not leaving out anybody.
No, of course, yeah.
All those people are still putting on nights, and their core values are what made us all like it in the first place. And they're just, the nights are always wicked. There's, do you know what I mean? There's minimal trouble. I mean, I think at the last AKO's, a couple of people's phones got taken, but that's just to be fair, there was another rave going on next door, and do you know what I mean? But usually any of those raves, you go there, nothing happens, because everybody knows everybody, do you know what I mean, and all the rest of it. So no, I'm not concerned in that sense, because the people that are about it properly are still doing what they're supposed to be doing. Do you know what I mean? And I guess the people that are not doing stuff like that, or the people that are trying to do some kind of different raves where they're excluding people or whatever, they're going to get brushed to the wayside, because no one's going to go. Because if myself and you went to a rave and the vibes were, you're not going to go back, are you?
No.
It's done. So you'll only catch me once. You know what I mean? So no, I'm not concerned. But again, just like everything else, I believe that the present people that are doing what they're doing just need to give the next generation a bit of guidance as well. A bit of guidance. It's not about listen to us and you don't know what you're doing. No, I just work with them. Work with them, give them a bit of guidance, because as you see, like people like Tim Reaper, there's some youngsters that they already understand. So you're just helping them along, and you're just, do you know what I mean, collaborating with them. Because again, it's a bit like in all the other genres. The newcomers respect the elders, but then you got this thing. It's not so much in, I wouldn't say in jungle, but like in hip hop, you got this. You had that mad thing where the youngsters are just not trying to hear what the people that came before said. And like 21 Savage the other day said that Nas is not relevant.
I saw that.
That's you know what? That's mad. That's crazy. But it only happens in hip hop. It only happens in.
Well, there was that famous video from Little Uzi Vert, wasn't it? And
yes,
he was on.
So he's not freestyling. Hot 97.
No, Hot 97.
So he's not freestyling.
He's not freestyling to no old school beats.
Yeah.
And then and I just loved. What's that guy's name?
It's either Pete Rosenberg or.
No, it wasn't Pete Rosenberg.
Ebro.
It was Ebro. Yes, it was Ebro. Yeah. And the way Ebro looked at him, he was like he wanted to just snatch his soul.
Because what it is, it's not that, because Lil Uzi Vert tried to say I'm not, because what his argument was, he said, I'm not rapping over no old school beat because I'm a rock star. It's like, no, you're not rapping over an old school beat because you can't.
Yes, exactly.
You're a different generation. So you should have just said that. You should have just said, look, that's not my kind of beat. I'm a youngster. This is the kind of beat that I like.
Need.
And if you're going to say, because I can't rhyme over that kind of beat, I'm whacked, then fair enough. But I'm telling you, I'm a youngster and this is my kind of beat.
Yeah.
But he tried to be a bit slick.
Yeah.
I ain't rapping over that. I'm a rock star. You can't hang with them type of beats.
No, you can't. It's pathetic.
No, you can't hang with them type of beats because there's a discipline that goes with them kind of beats.
I love it when the new school kid, when they do not comply, but I love it when they show that they can flip it.
So there's certain
rappers I've seen do that.
They can do what they're doing, and they can still I can still jump back on that old school beat. So, but that was that whole mumble rap thing. They were like trying to say, because remember back in the day, if you weren't, as a rapper, if you wasn't saying anything, you wasn't even getting put on. Or if you got on the stage and you was chatting shit, you get drawn off stage
Yeah.
with the hook end of a
Yeah.
of a walking stick.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? You just,
And then now you could just do a tune.
Yeah,
What was
you
it?
can just-
Yeah. What was that tune? That was Yeah? It was called Yeah, wasn't it? and it just, wasn't it? And it was just, yeah.
you can just you can do that. But it's crazy because it's like we came up in an era of like penmanship.
Yes.
And
True
lyricism
artistry.
and like and
Yeah.
like, and then you got people they've just dumbed it all down. And,
Yeah.
But it's not it's not even the kids' fault because the record labels are.
It's the
in
labels
collusion.
that
they're in
perpetuate-
in collusion with it.
I mean, it's something that annoys the fuck out of me, to be honest, because I see now, you know, with the majors really getting involved in the whole drill thing here. And, like, you know, it's confusing to me because some of these boys are bloody inside now, do you know what I mean? Because they've been...
Because they're dry snitching on
The
themselves.
dry
That's
stitches.
why.
So what's that? I love that tune. The MF Doom. Rap snitches.
Yeah,
Telling
you
all
know
your
what?
business. Do you know what I mean?
People
It's
don't
like
understand. There's levels to
be
that
your own
song.
star witness. I love that, being your own star witness. See
Right,
the perpetrator.
that's it, yeah.
Oh, I
Standing
love the
right
tune.
there.
Yeah.
Him and Mr. I think it's him and Mr. Fantastic.
Mr.
Snitches.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Bad. They don't even make tracks like that anymore.
I mean, you know, rest in peace, Doom
Yes,
as well, man.
yeah,
like,
R.I.P.
I actually shed a few tears when I found that out.
That was
'Cause
crazy.
It just killed me because it was like, oh, we're just not gonna have any more, and then you know, it's just like, it's just he like. Did you see when Mos Def was doing the covers of, because Mos Def was like his favourite rapper is MF Doom.
I didn't know that.
And if you look at, they're still on YouTube now. Mos Def has done these videos where he basically re-raps, you know, MF Doom's
think I
tracks
might
and sort of
have
breaks
seen
them
one
down a bit. But it's the thing is, because he was British, that's the thing that people didn't realise. He was born here, he's from Camberwell.
Like Slick Rick.
Do you know what I mean? Like Slick Rick, yeah.
I mean, of course, the heads
Yeah.
know, and that
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
generation know.
yeah.
A lot of people think
That if he's American, yeah, he was from the UK. And you know, so, you know, you had like a track called Hello Governor, and you know, do you know what I mean? Core Blimey, you say certain things, you know what I mean?
He was just, it's different.
He just didn't know.
Different level.
The rumour is he killed himself.
Really?
I saw a rumour that it was suicide, but I don't know. His family will never reveal.
Because the strange thing was he passed away, and he had passed away for quite some time.
It was October,
before.
and it was announced on New Year's Eve. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And that's why I think that if that theory is true, that length of time would lend
maybe
itself.
his missus didn't know how to break it to people.
100%.
Just
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and fair play at the end of the day.
No, absolutely.
Who knows what goes on?
And we don't have to know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think
that's the whole point.
yeah, we don't have to know.
It is, yeah.
It is what it is, and I mean, it's the same thing with Skibber. You know, in our scene, you know, there was a lot of people that were throwing out all these crazy kind of conspiracies about vaccines and stuff killing him. I don't know, and whatever your feelings are about the COVID thing, I don't really care anymore.
Yeah,
but you know, I just think, you know, Frosty was right. Like, it's just like, it's no one's fucking business. Like, just the man's dead. End of. You don't need to know. But people do have morbid curiosity. I mean, I found with Helen, you know, after she committed suicide, you know, people will just accept that as the answer, and then other people will be like, so how did she do it? Do you know what I mean? And they'd want to, like, do you know what I mean? They'd want to know exactly how she did it. And it's like, and I'll tell them, but it's just, you know.
I wouldn't tell. No, tell a lie. Certain people I probably would tell.
Yeah,
certain other people I'm not even telling you.
Yeah, I mean,
I might even just block you.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I get that. No, I get it. But
because it's like, don't.
Yeah.
Don't, like, no. I don't know. That's a weird one.
Yeah.
If you're close to a person, you'd know if you were close enough to be able to say that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you will also know that you're not close enough to say that to them. So if you were not close enough to say that to somebody and you said it, due to get blocked.
Yeah, maybe.
Instant block.
Yeah.
It's like when people were saying with the George Floyd thing.
Yeah.
They were saying, the BLM thing. People were saying, somebody was asking a question saying, if your white friend says it's all lives matter, are we explaining to them why it's not all lives matter, or are we straight blocking? And people's like,
straight block. See, now this is a really interesting one. I think there's teachable moments. Is it like straight red? Yeah, straight block. Yeah, straight block. No, cut.
because the thing is, right, and the reason why I'm laughing, and the reason why I can laugh about that is because when that was going on, and I even made a post about it, not a single one of my white friends
would say all lives matter.
Said, they didn't. None of them. Not one of them. So I was like, you know what? We're cool.
Yes.
Because I'm like, you're the same as me. We're the same. We're the same. So that's the reason why I was laughing hard about that. Because to me, anyone that's coming out the side of their mouth and saying, what is it? All lives matter? Yeah, you can straight block. Straight block.
I understand. I understand the sentiment behind that. I had a back and forth with an artist, Russian female artist, not A fruit. Before anyone some sort of says it's not A fruit, but it was a Russian female artist who was kind of posting, and she was sort of going, yes, I think, and this is how I always imagine her voice to sound like, but in my head, she's, yes, I think that, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now, and I don't understand why all the attention is being given to this one individual when there's people in India that are da-da-da-da-da. I think all lives are really important. And it was like, and I went with it a little bit, and I sort of like went, look, I know, I appreciate what you're saying, but just in this, like, can you just give us like a week? Like, how about you give us a week where you just don't say it? Just maybe just,
but
all right, because I understand why people started to fear that phrase, Black Lives Matter. No, but I'm trying to be as openly minded as I can.
Right? You know why I could never get my head around it. Right? Because check this out. If you go to a shop, every time you go to the shop, there's no pineapple juice.
Right.
Yeah. There's just no pineapple juice.
Okay.
Every time you go there, right? Are you gonna go there and complain to the shopkeeper about the orange juice or the banana juice?
No, you'll say, no, there's no pineapple juice. Yeah. No, I understand.
Because it's only the pineapple juice that's not there.
I understand the arguments for the
when people are like, because that's like somebody saying, well, no, you shouldn't just complain about the pineapple juice. You should complain about all juices.
Yeah, sure.
But all the other juices are there.
Sure.
Every time you go there, you can get an apple juice, you can get a peach juice, you can get a organic.
Yeah.
You can't get the pineapple.
But what if the... So, did you see what A$AP Rocky said during that whole thing?
No. What did he say?
Well, and I can't help but slightly agree with him on this. Because he said the only issue he has with Black Lives Matter, it only applies when a white person kills a black person. What about when black people are killing black people? Why don't we say Black Lives Matter then? And I just couldn't help but think, he's got a point.
Okay. Yeah, but white people kill white people as well.
Exactly. Right? So but then Kanye got pillaged for saying White Lives Matter.
Yeah, but...
Do you see what I'm saying? And this is the problem that I have with these terms, with these short-handed fucking phraseologies.
And the thing is, I kept saying I wasn't going to get into the Kanye thing, like especially on Facebook, because I'm like, and first of all, mental health is not an excuse, but he's got bipolar, right? So he's got bipolar, so he does off-key stuff. He does off-key stuff anyway.
Well, yeah, but right? who said he's bipolar? Because it's only the Kardashians that said he's bipolar.
As far as I know, like he's accepted that.
He might be.
Well, he all right, But then, so you got that. Okay, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. He's also.
I don't think
he's a troll.
Yeah,
he's a blatant troll.
Yeah,
and also, he is very impulsive and he can't help what he says.
Yes,
hence running on stage with a Taylor Swift and
which was hilarious.
Then, of course.
Yeah.
Right, and then
he did make her famous
when he was standing next to.
Mike Myers.
World, yeah.
He's
like George Bush.
Just don't care about me. Yeah.
Rago, just.
Yeah.
Right, just said it.
Yeah.
Can't even take it back. It's live.
No.
And like even
people's. Even Mike Myers was like. It's just Mike Myers' face. Right. I was just like,
so,
shit, what do I do now?
Because he's like that. He'll do something like that, and like, I'm like, do you know what? Just. To me, when he did it, I wasn't even trying to get into like, is he trying to diss this person, or I'm just like, and remember as well, he's not even in the he's just not normal, because he's just, when you're a billionaire or whatever, you're moving in circles that we don't even know anything about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, billionaires don't wear chains, he said. I love that.
The thing is, which is true, but the other thing is, it's like, remember when there was a stage where he kept on fighting photographers?
Yeah.
And people were like saying, and even me, I was like, you're famous. Stop fighting the photographers because you're famous. They want to take pictures of you. You know that, so you shouldn't be fighting them. But then one day I saw an interview with him and he said, look, he goes, I was a first-time dad, first child. And he goes, I've come out of my house. And he goes, remember, they're out there already. I know they're out there. And so he goes, I've come out of my house. I'm with my wife, as she was at the time, and our new child. And he goes, they're already saying stuff to me, trying to get me to pose for the pictures and that. And he goes, and I did to a degree, but then I stopped. He goes, I'm trying to put the baby seat in the car. And he goes, I've never done it before. Right? And then baby seats are kind of crazy. Like if you don't
Yeah.
So he's fiddling with it now, and he's starting to feel a bit stupid because
he can't do it.
Because he can't do it.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't want to stop now and then say to my missus, can you do it? Because that's people are going to be like, oh, so you couldn't do it, yeah? So you missed that to me. So he's trying to do it, and he goes, they're still goading me, and they're still saying certain stuff.
Yeah.
And he goes, at that moment, I just lost the plot.
Yeah.
Because I'm feeling embarrassed, I'm feeling shame, I'm with my first child, I'm trying to do something that I should know how to do, but I don't know how to do. And we've all been there, dodgy car seat. Do you know what I mean? So he lost the plot, so he's run over, he grabbed the camera. So when you hear it like that, you're like, it doesn't sound so crazy.
No.
Because before he said that,
Yeah.
it just sounds like he's famous, he stepped out of his house, someone tried to take a picture of him, which is what they do, and he's just attacking people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sounds crazy when you say it like that.
Yeah.
But we've all been there. Like,
Absolutely.
there's times where stuff's not going right for you. Do you know what I mean? And people are watching you and all the rest of it. And then someone comes and says something sideways, like, you know what I mean? You're going to let off on them because...
But I mean, you've had Hugh Grant and Chris Martin and all these people attack photographers. I mean, remember when Bjork attacked a photographer?
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
She gave her some licks.
She gave that girl some licks, boy. Proper bashed her
That's
up.
a proper scruff.
And it was the way she was like, she had her head down like the Ring girl. Actually, she looked like the girl from the Ring. She had her head down like that, and then she just went, and just launched at this poor bird.
Gave her some licks.
And it's like, yeah, it must be hard when you're just an artist and you're super famous.
And the thing is, nobody knows what happens before.
Yeah.
Unless you were there frame for frame. But sometimes they're saying stuff to you and they're goading you.
I don't think Kanye's crazy. Was it Snoop? Was it Snoop that said it? 50 Cent.
Even Dave Chappelle. Remember when they tried to say Dave Chappelle was crazy and he was smoking crack?
Thank you. This is what I'm saying.
And
you see,
he chipped and went to Africa.
Okay, well, this is the thing, because I got a lot of shit for my videos on Kanye, which are on this channel, by the way. You can go and check them out. But I got a lot of shit for them because I was trying to get to the idea about this latest stuff about why he's seemingly sort of attacking a certain section of society. You know what I mean? And I sometimes, I've got to the point now in this era of, social media and eyes everywhere and it's visually based and everything, is that when people are saying shit, they say some crazy ass shit, whatever, right? Okay, fine. And they might have said some terrible things or they might have said some funny things or whatever it is they say. If it's offensive to a large number of people, I'm always interested in the why they said it now. I'm more interested in the why. Yeah.
When some of these people say these things, one of the main things that you need to ask yourself before you attack them or whatever, ask yourself if it's true.
Yes, well, this is it.
If it's true.
Yeah.
Because...
Well, Kanye was pretty... You see, here's the thing, and actually, shout out to Aboudi. My good friend Aboudi, who is a Jewish rapper, we was talking earlier on, and we've been having a little bit of ongoing discussion since the latest stuff with Kanye, and it's been very, very interesting. And I think for me, what I think Kanye should have been saying was that black art needs to be owned by black people. That's what I think he was trying to say, but he just didn't do it very eloquently, and he went down that Professor Griff route. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna send you something as well.
Yeah.
It's funny you should say Professor Griff. There's an interview and he explains, because remember when it happened to Professor Griff?
Now, Professor Griff is a member of Public Enemy for all you.
So
he's young, and he's like one of the first cancellations I think I ever experienced.
Yeah, cancel culture before
cancel culture. He just got thrown out of the band because he was saying some pretty crazy
There's
shit.
There's an interview. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
And he explains.
Right.
He explains what actually happened.
Yeah. I mean, could you summarise just real quick, or maybe just get a bit...
All right. He wasn't lying. The stuff he said, he wasn't lying.
Yeah.
He just... All right, how can I put it? It's like, imagine this. you're a billionaire.
Yeah.
And because you're a billionaire, you've got the ways and means to persuade people of certain things. Now, one day, I go to an interview and then someone says, where does Chris live? And I say, Chris lives on such and such a street, and that's his telephone number, and so on. And I didn't lie, I just told the truth. But because I did that, when you eventually found out about it, just because you're a billionaire and just because you're influential, you've said to whoever you can, how dare Paydro give out that information?
Yeah.
And because you're influential and because you're a billionaire, people are like, yeah, Paydro's messed up for giving out that information.
Yeah.
But if you actually checked what I did, they asked me a question. I never told no lies. I said, Chris lives here. That's his telephone number. And that's where he works. It was like that.
Got ya.
It was like that.
Yeah.
So but he really breaks it down.
Yeah.
Even with Public Enemy, because then obviously what happened, like in that situation, Chuck D agreed with him, and they were all together, and they all agreed until the powers that be said to Chuck D, "Listen, you got two choices," because that's what they do. They say you got two choices: distance yourself, or if you're going to align yourself with him, then there's all of you.
Yeah,
there's all of you.
Right.
Remember, people got children, people got So then
it was it was the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
And then what made me laugh was Professor Griff goes to Chuck D, but yeah, didn't you say that this is what we were supposed to do though? And Chuck D was like, no, we didn't mean for you to do it that hard. Kind of, and he was like,
okay, yeah, but he was a Minister of Information.
he goes, what do you mean? He goes, I'm the Minister of Information, and you knew my job was to get information and put it out there, and I did.
Yeah.
And now you're saying you didn't want me to go that far.
Yeah.
But they never had a conversation about how far they should actually
go. Yeah.
But they were also told in the beginning, because remember in the beginning they were militant. They didn't care.
No, they didn't.
When they first came out and they were saying stuff, all of them were like, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. It is pretty mad. And I mean, like I said, and I hope to get a Booty on the show before the end of the month, because he's going to give a perspective from a rap fan who's Jewish and obviously has black friends and loves black people, loves black culture. And, he's been sort of wrestling with the whole situation between, those two different groups.
The flip side to it also is, it's like, there's certain people you can't say anything about. You just cannot. If you say anything, it could be true.
Yeah.
You're going to get into trouble.
Yes.
But
I think that's happening less so now.
But
yeah,
they can put you in a position where you could say similar stuff, but to your own people.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need to get to a place where it's fair.
Yes.
So it's like,
yeah,
if you can say that, then we can, and it's just got to be fair. That's all.
I think that's.
I'm not for 1 minute trying to say that it's got to be one-sided, where one set of people gets to just disrespect. I'm not saying that.
No.
It's got to be fair.
Yeah.
We got to get to a place where this group can tell some truths about that.
Yeah, exactly.
And that group can tell some truths.
Well,
about
we're used to, as black people, hearing all sorts of statistics about us. You know what I mean? And a lot of that isn't true. And I mean,
So that's the place that we got to get to, where it's you can say, but then sometimes you have to ask yourself, why aren't certain people allowed to tell the truth about certain things? Because that's another avenue that it's crazy, because this.
Well, I think that's kind of what the SNL monologue from Chappelle was kind of alluding to, that there are some things in society, there are some just stuff out there that's just kind of true, and it's just weird that if you say it, it's like, oh shit. And so, Wiley went through a similar situation, and here's the thing, I now have very clear, friends from that community, and
I've always
exactly right. Was you living as well? Yeah, exactly. So it's not like every single black person thinks in the same way. It's just there needs to be open discourse, and I think. But I am a bit of an optimist. Probably to my detriment sometimes, but I do believe that is slightly changing. I think that I want to believe that maybe there's going to be more open conversations about it, because I think if there are, that's the only way that's going to sort of dispel some shit, And like I said, I hope to have those conversations soon. So for me, like that's what it's always got to be about. It's always got what is he calling me? Rick. Oh no, he's always calling me. It's always got to be a open discourse and open conversation about anything. I think we should be able to speak about anything. I do believe in the right for free speech.
Yeah,
and
we're not talking about attacking people. No.
Yeah. But Kanye should have been talking about black ownership of their own art. That's what he should have been talking about. He shouldn't have been saying, "Oh, these people, own us and a part of everything."
He just said it in a brutal way.
He said it in the wrong way. He focused a little bit like what I was trying to do with Black Youngsters Alliance. I was saying, look, we're not. There's a point where I can vilify these white people, right? These 3 or 4, but I can't just start going, all white people, because that's just not true. And you can't sort of take the sins of a few and then apply it to a whole race. In the same way that when a black guy gets pulled up for rape and murder, it doesn't mean we're all rapists and murderers, right? So, I just think there has, like you say, it has to come to a point where there's open discourse, a bit of discussion, a bit of fairness. It's balanced. And I think, we'll be okay. I do think that there are more and more people, who are prepared to have that conversation without the fear of, any kind of sort of, problematic ideologies or problematic views bleeding in there. I don't think that necessarily I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. I think there's going to be some interesting conversations as a result. I mean, Lex Fridman and Kanye. Lex Fridman, is a man from the Jewish community.
Yes. He was the one is he the one that appears to be on Kanye's side because he's like siding with him, or because I saw somebody from the Jewish community was saying something, and I don't even know who he was. I sort of just skimmed past it on Instagram, but it's like he was like saying he's not wrong. He's actually telling the truth about certain things.
Yeah. Because and that's what I'm saying. I just think it's about artists owning their own, art, and I think the model right now isn't that, and I just think that he should. But then the flip to that. And I can hear Neil Shiloh screaming in my face, telling me to shut up right now. But the flip to that is that Kanye should have put his money where his mouth is. He had a label. He had artists on his label. And a lot of them got fucked over by Kanye. So
the machine teaches you to do that.
Well, I guess so. But he didn't have to be subject to that machine. You know what I mean? And I just think that, he's got to take a little bit of responsibility for the shit he says. And he has to be more aware about, like how he has to know how much influence and power he has in himself, and how that influence and power could have actually helped the people that he claimed he wanted to help. And I think that's what annoyed me about that, But I just think the idea that it was 50 Cent that said it. Kanye's not crazy at all. He said he ain't crazy. He's not bipolar. He knows exactly what he's doing at all times, which is why he was in the position that he's in. But then it's also the reason why he lost $1.5 billion in a day.
Exactly.
It's like how did you just lose half? And that was
just say some shit.
You say some crazy shit, and then that's the thing. It's like and like he goes, Adidas was started by Nazis. It's like even they were offended. That's what was Dave Chappelle's point. You know what I mean? So it's. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the future.
All right, let's
holds for Kanye.
Even like Dave Chappelle, it's like he ruffles a lot of feathers.
Oh, of course, yeah.
On Facebook and the debates and that.
Yeah.
It was sticks and stones. People got upset about that.
But yeah, it was yeah.
And I was.
Yeah, I know. But you see, what annoys me, and again, I'm going to mention him again, Esteban, because he still hasn't fucking watched it. Esteban Perry still not watched Sticks and Stones. He's calling him a transphobe and stuff. It's like, he says in the fucking thing, my problem isn't with trans people, my problem is with white people. He says it in the thing. He doesn't have a problem with trans people. He says it. Because he's saying, you're a minority 1 minute, and then when you need to be, you're white the next. And that's the point. That's what Dave was getting at. It was like, you can't you can't flip between that.
You know what? I'm not sure what people found offensive.
Yeah.
I'm out on that. I'm just not sure. Because again, it's like he doesn't just go after one.
No, he goes after everyone.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I've never seen something where he's just gunning one type of people.
Yeah. He did have a bit of an agenda with Sticks and Stones though, because the reason why is because he made jokes in a previous couple of specials.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then he was travelling around the country and he was getting all this abuse and he was like...
so he was kind of doing a bit of damage control.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, and then the fact that his trans friend ended up getting bullied online to the point where she committed suicide by that very community, you know, everyone kind of just skipped that. Oh, well, it's like saying I've got a black friend and it means I can be racist. No, it wasn't. That's not the point. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not the point. It's like, you know, a white guy having a black friend and then the rest of the black community murdering that black guy because he's friends with someone white that, you know, made some stupid jokes. And I just think, I love comedy, and I spoke about it so much on the last podcast, and I love comedy so much. And, you know, I just think it's a shame that's the last great sort of like area where people can say what they need to say.
And you can't anymore.
Well, I just think...
Well, it depends. I think certain people can.
I think it's like Patrice O'Neill famously said, good jokes and bad jokes all come from the same place. They're just an attempt to make people laugh. And like, you know, we grew up in the area of Roy Chubby Brown and, you know, Bernard Manning and, you know, Jim Davison and stuff like that. And then like, there's some annoying... I hate myself for this, but there are jokes from all three of those guys that I've laughed at. Right?
For me, just... Jim Davison, that is it. Roy Chubby Brown was like, nah.
They're all terrible, right? They're all terrible, yeah? They're all terrible. Bernard Manning's a piece of shit, Roy Chubby Brown's a piece of shit, Jim Davison's a piece of shit. But they've all told jokes that were funny.
But, alright, growing up where I grew up in Kensal Rise, I don't know how it managed to go down, but it's like, Jim Davis, he's kind of got a blight at one point because people were watching and no one wasn't cussing.
Well, that's because of snooker.
I guess until we got a bit older and then you realise what you. But like, I can honestly say I've not watched a single Roy Chubby Brown. No, not one, because I knew from the get go. So I'm like, nah.
I worked at a company called Leafer's Larder once, and there was a black guy there called Jason. And he was proper dread brother. And then he wasn't from London.
Don't say he thought that it was funny.
Okay, bear with me. All right. So he came. Bear with me. So he's not from London though. All right. I'm just gonna give him that caveat, right? Okay. So you know, so he's country. So. And he went to see Roy Chubby Brown with a group of his mates, right?
And was he the only black guy?
I mean, he would have probably been the only black guy in the audience, maybe. But no, he would have, no, because he said there were a few more. He said there were some other black people in the audience, right?
Okay.
And he said the thing was, what was annoying was, he said, well, not annoying. He said what was funny was, he went in thinking, oh man, like, I'm going to hear some fucking crazy shit. And he said there was only about 4 jokes about black guys or black people, right? Okay. In like an hour and 15, 20 minutes. Because he then went, you know, he went for Chinese, he went for Indians, he went for everyone. And he went for white people, went for fat people, went for skinny people, went for everyone. And he was like, you know, it's such a stupid joke. He goes, it's not like black guys' dicks are too big, it's just maybe black women's pussies are too small. Do you know what I mean? All this sort of stuff. It's just so stupid. It's such a stupid joke. But it's just like, you know, Chappelle said it himself during Nicotine or whatever that one he did. He said, like, you know, some of my friends are right wing, some of my friends are left wing, and some of my right wing friends mean the shit they say. Like, do you know what I mean? But they're still my friends. Do you know what I mean? And like, you know, it's difficult because it's about the hate. That's ultimately what it's about. Are these things designed to hate? Some people who have more modern sensibilities would say yes, that, you know, language is violence and all this sort of stuff. No, a punch in the fucking face is violence. Yeah, like, language is never going to be violence to me. I'm sorry. I don't know how people say it. I understand why people feel that way, but it's not. If you've come from certain types of certain places in the world, you know that violence is violence. Yeah, like, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Just come on. You obviously live a sheltered life. If you have a choice
between that or someone saying something to you, you're gonna
I'd rather take someone to call him a nigger all day and get punched like a baseball bat to the head. Do you know what I mean? So I just think that, you know, I'm not saying that we become weak as such, but I think you know, I think we have maybe, I don't know. It's almost like there's no... People don't allow for nuance anymore in comedy. They don't allow for the idea that just because someone's on stage saying something, that maybe they don't necessarily mean it to its core. You know what I mean? They're just saying some shit that's going to make some people laugh. And there's so many jokes that I've heard that have had
you're not supposed to laugh. Yeah, you're not supposed to laugh, but they're funny.
I mean, Louis C.K.'s, told some irreparable jokes about fucking dead 4-year-olds and shit, and I've been in stitches, and it's like, I'm a father, I shouldn't be laughing at this shit, but that's kind of why it's really funny, because it's like, sneaking into somewhere and reading something you're not supposed to or whatever, and it's, it's not right to some people to even talk about that, but that's kind of why it's funny to me, you know what I mean? And I'll always defend the right for someone to say what the fuck they want to say, but you've got, that person will have to live and die by what they say. And if you're just not funny or you can't get away with it, then it's going to be problematic. But I just think that Kanye, going back to him just real quick, I just think he's just not eloquent enough. He's not a public speaker, he's not a politician, he's just saying shit while drunk on a show sitting opposite Nora.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of Drink Champs.
I know, it's to catch him out. Yeah.
They play you up with drink, and then you're more likely to just start spilling, or you're going to go in.
Well, the P. Diddy one was... Did you ever watch the P. Diddy? It was earlier in the career.
Yes.
And he said some...
He said some stuff, and people are like...
what? Because he goes, I want to take you shopping. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And he said to another man, I want to take you shopping. And then, but it was when 50 Cent went on later on.
Did you see one where Kevin Hart was standing there, and he's talking, and P. Diddy goes, because remember, Usher lived with him for a while when he was developing him.
Wait, Usher lived with P. Diddy? Yeah. Really?
Yeah, when he was young. Okay. And there's stuff that's come out about that, or gonna come out about that. But anyway, so...
Ooh, we can't just skip past that. Wait, so what, they're supposed to be...
Yeah, I'll send you the...
Well, they're supposed to be in a relationship?
Yeah, but not that... It's like a grooming kind
of thing.
Yeah, Usher was young.
Yeah.
But... Puff Daddy was like, when me and Usher used to wake up in the morning, and then the way he said it was like
they were in bed together. Yeah.
So, but then he just stopped himself, and Kevin Hart looks dead into the camera, and he's cracking up, and he's going, is anybody gonna just admit to the fact of what he just said?
Yeah.
Are you lot all? Because there was a few of them.
Yeah.
And Kevin Hart was like saying, are you lot all going to tell me?
Yeah.
None of you heard that. And none of you knew what that meant. And all of you are just acting like it was normal what he said.
Yeah.
But did he just carry on normal? And it just got...
Wait, so the separate shows, or was it the same show?
No, it's...
Kevin Hart was with P. Diddy, were there as well?
Yeah, they were backstage somewhere. And I think it was P. Diddy, Usher was there, and he had his arm around him. They were just talking. They were just talking to the camera. And then Diddy goes, He goes, because when me and Usher used to wake up in the morning... And then he stops himself. So it's almost like he realised what he said. So he stopped. And then Kevin Hart's like, did you just hear that? And nobody backed him up. Because, usually in a situation like that, if somebody says something off, someone's going to be, like, somebody in the crowd is going to hit.
What's going on? Yeah.
Or you're going to be like, you heard that, innit? And you'll be like, yeah. They just aired Kevin Hart. They just, like...
Yeah.
It's almost as though they knew, but maybe... They didn't want to say.
It was an open secret.
Yeah, or they didn't want to. Yeah, they didn't want to throw anyone under the bus or whatever. Or they didn't want to mess up their money with Diddy, so they just thought, you know what? I know he baited himself up there, but he baited himself up in quite a bad way. Anyway, I don't have to like co-sign it. We know, but yeah, it was mad.
No, but 50 Cent didn't play. He just come with and just cussed them off.
Yeah, because he goes, "What? You want to take me?" 50 Cent said that on the Breakfast Club.
Was it Breakfast Club? Yeah,
he said it. He said it on, I think, Drink Champs, but then 50 Cent was talking about the situation again.
Yeah, on the Breakfast Club. That's right. Yeah.
And then when Diddy was on the Breakfast Club again, and they were like saying, but didn't you say that you want to take like 50 Cent shopping? And then Diddy's going, but I thought he needed some clothes.
Oh shit!
Right? Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Like man's poor.
Right.
Yeah.
It's bizarre, but
it's weird. But like, I just think Diddy's of the wrong generation. He's probably gay, but just won't come out because it's just that he's of that generation.
And him and Clive Davis.
Right. Okay. Probably. But then then you flip that and you've got Tyler the Creator's freestyle on Funk Flex. I don't know if you ever heard that.
No, but Tyler Creator. Well, he's
bisexual.
He's
he came out on Flower Boy, but no, his freestyle on Funk Flex was just hilarious because it's like me and Flex get together and look for all the buff roughneck niggas to, you know what I mean, or something. I don't know what it was. But I urge you, look up Tyler the Creator on Funk Flex, the freestyle he does, and they say it's
the thing is, there's even a track with him and Westside Gunn.
Yeah.
And he's talking about like his nails are painted.
Yeah, his nails painted. Yeah. He's a flamboyant guy. What can I say? I love Tyler the Creator. He's brilliant because he's just absolutely destroyed that whole narrative of like the super macho, you know. I mean, I think he's done it in a much smarter way than, you know, the other kid.
Little Nas X.
Yeah, see, I mean, look, and no hate for Little Nas X because I think he's doing great things to dispel, you know, a load of shit as well for hip hop. Well, he's not really hip hop, is he? He's pop really, but you know, I just think, you know, the black community in America, you know, and here need to sort of just like kind of get over certain things. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like, Jesus, man. It's like, you know, again, it's 2022. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever. Who gives a shit, really? At the end of the day, I know some people do. You know, some people very close to me like really care, but you know, ultimately, I just don't really care what someone does in the bed with someone. I really don't care. Don't care. Business. It's no one's business. And you know, if they want to talk about it, they can talk about it. If they don't, you don't have to listen. And you know, it's ultimately that's you know, the choice of anyone. You can just turn it off or, you know, move to another channel.
Something else.
Yeah. If you don't like it, don't listen.
Yeah, you don't have to start getting all irate.
Yeah, I mean, you know, but I think for some people it's like scary to them because it's a new plateau. It's something that's, you know, maybe not what they're used to, or that they didn't think they'd ever have to get used to. And I'm just like, really, just shit, whatever, man. Who gives a shit? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Like, it just seems weird to me, you know, that there's so many things in the world that we could. You're talking about
investing your time, or you're wasting your energy on that, getting yourself all like angry
about something that's got
right. It's not going to stop.
It's not going to stop, and it's got fuck all to do with you.
Yeah, it's not going to stop. So
you know, at the end of the day, do what you're doing, innit? Do you know what I mean? I don't care. And I mean, look, and like I said, I'm 40. I'll be 47 in January. You know what I mean? So I'm of the generation that, you know, younger cats would probably think, I'm probably gonna have a problem with it, but I really don't give a shit. And you know. It is funny how that thing in hip hop, you know, hip hop and football were like the two things, you know what I mean, where you can't really, you know, come out, but yet there's all these geezers in it, and then we're supposed to believe what you're all straight, I mean, every single Premiership footballer was straight, all right. Do you know what I mean? It's like Freddie Lundberg, you know what I mean, for a long time. Like my sister was like, I'm pretty sure he's gay, but he was never going to come out because.
He couldn't,
you know, because of the fear, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's come out now. I don't know. But I mean, there's a player for Aston Villa, Thomas Hitzelsberger, his name was, a German player. And then after he retired, he came out as gay. And like, you know, he felt a great sense of shame because he knew he'd sort of let down the LGBTQ community, or he felt he'd let down the LGBTQ community for not coming out. Yeah, for not coming out sooner. When you think of what happened to Justin Fashanu, for example, you know what I mean? His own brother, though. His own brother fucking disowned him. Piece of fucking... I fucking hate John Fashanu for that. I hate John Fashanu for that. It's a piece of shit. But like, you know, but that's probably what gay footballers probably saw. It's like, well, I don't want to end up like... You know what I mean? Right. And it's like, let me just hold it down until, you know, my career's over, you know? So I don't really care, but... I don't know where we were going with this. Where were we?
We've been off on a few tangents, just...
This is it. Right. This is it. But yeah, man. I mean, I do think that you know, well, it's like I was saying to a colleague of mine. You know, there was a time when, you know, even the idea of an interracial relationship was like like the most taboo thing.
There's always a time where certain things, something hasn't happened, and then it does happen, and the first person that does it gets the original backlash and the original trouble and all the rest of it.
Exactly.
And the people that come afterwards just get to breeze. Yeah, exactly. Get to breeze through.
Was it the Love? They were called the Loves, didn't it? It was like the couple in America. There was a film about it recently. I think they were called the Loves. I think there was actually Love was the surname of the guy who was white and he married a black woman.
Oh, I'm not supposed
to. What's his name? I can't remember his bloody name. He plays it. He's in quite a good few films. But yeah, they play. It was like their battle to be like the first official interracial marriage in America.
Okay.
You know, and
Where's that showing? Is that?
Oh, it came out about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe. I think it came out during lockdown or just before lockdown. You know, it's like, well, you know, and then now you go to fucking, you know, then fast forward and you got cookies and cream, like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? There was, for those that don't realise, I swear to God, cookies and cream was called that because is it just my imagination? Because it just seemed to be the only people that were in there were black guys and white girls. Was it my imagination? Did you ever go? You never went to Cookies and Cream? Right. Maybe I'm just being mad here. Please, someone correct me if I'm wrong. Because I went a couple of times to Cookies and Cream. It was a garage night, right? It was at SW1 Club, right? SW1? Yeah, Victoria. And you went in.
Were there no mixed race girls in there?
I mean, yeah, maybe. I didn't see. Well, I'm trying to think but I mean, it was literally white girls and black guys. I mean, pretty much. You know what I mean?
A lot of garage was like that.
Well, yeah, I suppose it was, but I mean, it was I just feel like it was called that because
I never even thought.
Maybe it's just my mad brain. I just assumed it was called that because of the demographic. It's like. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, imagine if you started doing that. They started like naming their nights after the demographic that they attracted. Do you know what I mean? It's like, all right, I'm gonna stop there because I'm already thinking to say some shit. And it's like, all right, I've had enough problems for this last decade.
Exactly.
I just don't want to, you know, I've already accused I've accused some people of being cotton clubs and, you know, all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? You know, the Cotton Club was a place in America where it was like very, very light-skinned black people were used to entertain white people.
Yeah.
With black music in the background.
Joints and them kind of
that sort of thing. So that's why Duke Ellington and all them guys were also so light-skinned because
they were pressing their hair and everything.
Yeah, to make sure the hair was straighter and that, so they weren't so threatening to the mostly white audiences. And you know. there's examples of that in all sorts of places, particularly in drum and bass. But fuck it, mate. This is the place. I said this is where I want to talk my shit. Fuck it. So yeah, you're right, mate. Don't die. Well, bruv. I think it's been lovely. It's been a really, really nice chat. And actually, for those of you who don't know, this is the longest conversation me and him have ever actually had.
I think in lockdown we had a chat.
We did have a chat,
but it wasn't as long as.
No.
How long have we been talking for?
I think it's about 2 hours now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's about half 6.
Yeah,
it's about 2 hours. Yeah, cool.
It's been a good one,
brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, and I'll speak to you soon. So catch you on. Where can we catch you?
You can catch me every second Sunday and last Sunday of the month on Life FM.
Yeah.
You can catch me every Tuesday on Itch FM and every last Monday of the month on Itch FM doing a Hip Hop Back in the Day show. So my shows are Sunday Jungle Flex. That's every second and last Sunday of the month. Mm-hmm. Every Tuesday on Itch FM, the Breaks and Soul Show.
Soul Show, yeah, that's the one.
And then every last Monday of the month on Itch FM is the Hip Hop Back in the Day show.
Beautiful.
That's Hip Hop Back in the Day crew, DJs on rotation.
Got you. Well, we'll put all that information in the description, so make sure you send that to me.
Just rewind it and...
No, we'll stick it in the description. Cool. Mate. Nice. Anyway, thanks very much for coming down, man. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, man. Nice all right. Till next time.
Bye.
Peace.